They need 8 on third down to move the chains.
Lowering the music, lowering all the stuff. We're gonna get copyright struck like up, way up the butt, just super up the butt. Because we have Madden 12 in the background, and they only have licensed music. It's back in the days when EA was not as much of a douchey company, but you know. Charles, what are you playing in the background there? Are you playing Madden or playing Pokemon?
Surprisingly, it is Madden 19. I will be switching to Pokemon after the game. Me and my buddies were doing our franchise, so I was just kind of catching up to it to do the week to week, and then kind of go from there. An hour of this, an hour of that.
Nice balance. So, Andrew, you're in the back. What are you doing there? What's going on there?
I am working on a double secret probation project for RCFB.
Okay.
Tell the young kids what double secret probation is from.
Yes.
It is from Animal House. It's a classic. I mean, it is rated R for a reason, so the kids can't watch it. But it's got an all-star cast. It's got John Belushi, the good Belushi. No offense to Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi, you suck. I'm saying it.
Although, if you want to come on the show, we will gladly eat crow.
I was just going to talk about the Chicago Bears all day. Yeah. Okay.
So I forget who else is in it, but
directed by John Landis, who also did American Werewolf in London. Everybody's in it. The guy who was in the Brady Bunch, also the original Johnny Quest. We're doing a callback there. I forgot his name. Tim something. It's gonna bother me. You had Kate Allen, from Raiders of the Lost Ark. That Kate Allen, No. Wow, I'm dating myself here.
Oh yeah.
The Grays are just coming in.
And some of the great quotes. Toga, 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 and God, I forget. There's another
they
one.
Have the shout scene. You make me want to shout.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a National Lampoon movie, so it is going to have sex, nudity, drugs, which totally fine by me. I mean, it's still a fucking hilarious movie, but definitely not for the kiddos. But it's definitely one of those must-watch movies, and it's I need say no more.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Foregathers. Thanks for following us, by the way. That just happened right now, guys. So welcome to the show. Okay, guys. Well, we were asked to do a promo. So I think we should direct everybody to our TeePublic store called the Goofs Nest Gift Shop. All right, let's go on it right now, guys. Let's explore what the Goofs have to show off there at the Goofs Nest Gift Shop, right? I hope it shows up on our Google search. Are we that popular, guys? Are we? I have no idea.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so too, because there we got all kinds of goodies for everybody. So, one moment. And you'll see it occasionally being advertised on the top, So, There it is, the Goose Nest gift shop for all your sports goofs. I got some of my other stuff there from my own account, Marlon's Historian. All right, look at Charles's pretty mug. Why don't we get, get a T-shirt with his face on it? Just the lower half of it, though. Right?
You're gonna love it, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Like the whole Zales commercial.
Wasn't it freaking the store where you get the suit?
Oh, big into
Men's Warehouse, right?
Yeah, Men's Warehouse.
There we go. Yeah, get one of those. All right, we got all
Your
kinds of
significant
designs.
other's gonna love it.
Get a mask with that because that's probably the perfect use of this design. All right, get a Charles's lower face mask right there. Okay, we got all kinds of other stuff too. I got some of my designs. We got Andrew. We got your design there. Your alternative UCF, or actually not officially affiliated, so the UFCF Shield T-shirt there. The University of CF. Let's just say that, because they have not officially adopted this design. Look at that, Andrew. Don't you remember that pretty design there?
Of course I do.
Wouldn't you like that? You got all kinds of colors there, okay? All right, you can get in gray, get in white, get in black. Oh, it's not just shirts either. You can get a nice notebook of it. It's back to school, guys. All right, what if you're going to University of CF? You can get one of these. People are like, "Whoa, what is that?" It's like, yeah, found this online at TeePublic at the Goose Nest gift shop. People are like, "What the hell is that?" They'll be like, we'll show you, and then they'll see Charles's face. They'll be like, "Whoa!" And they'll see the fire thighs design as well.
Buy it for your high school boys who can't grow facial hair. We're just giving you the opportunity.
Exactly.
To let you know what you look like grown men.
Exactly. What if your laptop needs protection? Then you get a Fire Thighs laptop case, all right? Andrew's Mighty Thighs will protect anything. Right there. So there you go. Got other designs too. Football season, NFL is coming. We're in the preseason already, all right? And we have a feeling that Charles, after he's done with his various coal jobs, will be giving out some more Henry Handies this upcoming season. Why don't you get a design
two
for
hands,
that?
Once you're dedicated each man.
Yeah. Let's see if the Yankees make it to October, though. We'll see.
Oof. Buddy.
Hey, you guys got one of two so far today.
I have never been so vested in baseball in like the last 3 years. From the good and the bad.
Oh yeah, and I got some of my other designs there, some other things there, but head on over to Goose Nest Gift Shop. All right, there's always deals. Every once in a while, they'll have like 35% off. They'll have all kinds of deals. Just pop on over there. All kinds of designs, and that's our store. Link will be in the description. You'll find it there, and have a great time. All right, all of our stuff is cheap as we can put it there. All right, we're barely making any money on this. All right, this is all for you guys. This is all for you. Okay, so there it is, guys. All right. Well then, I guess there's other stuff. Sports happen, I guess. We can talk about that. That's part of the show, right? So we got Madden in the background. NFL preseason has started. Baseball is doing things. Charles is getting a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, weird. Big ups to C-Bro for just reserving one.
Yeah.
Pseudo unexpectedly, but hey, I will. I can't win the lottery, but I can get a PlayStation 5, so I'll take it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, are you gonna scalp it, Charles? Are you one of those? Will you sell your soul?
Nah.
Just for
Basically,
a few more
what I would
$100?
do is you make it like an attraction. Come play my PlayStation 5 for $20. You want to play Returnal? $10.
You want to play the
like renting on the
PS4
weekend.
version of a game? It's not even up-res yet because they haven't set the update for this game yet. Come on over, Charles, please.
Come do this. I got you. I'm smart. Why would I scalp it when I'm looking to make continuous money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could imagine Charles way back when in the late 1800s, but on Coney Island, opening up his own amusement park. I could imagine that with that mustache.
Take a ride on the wild side.
Exactly.
As Velvet Underground says.
No disregard for human life with those rides too.
Are you calling me a carny, sir?
Hey man, I think I saw. I don't know if anybody's seen the history of all these Coney Island places. I think there's some stuff on YouTube about it. That's pretty cool. But I think one of the guys saw his. Oh yeah, it was on. Gosh darn it, man! What was that? The one that always talks about Disney and stuff. I already forgot his name, but you'll find it. He talked about Coney Island and how one guy's amusement park was burning down to the ground overnight, and then it completely burned down, and then he went on over, put up a sign that said like 10 cents to go and watch the rubble or something. Now that's a man that knows how to milk it for all it's worth. Literally. Yeah, you probably had some cows. You probably could milk some cows there. You probably did that. I would do that. You know? People do that now. People do that now. Come over to the farm and milk a cow. Yeah. Where are we?
Would you pay somebody to milk a cow?
I
Is that like some people pay people to feed a horse. I'm like, it's a horse. What do you need to feed a horse for?
Well, my family has a farm in Nicaragua, so we do pay people to milk cows. So
I'm not gonna hate you for being a hustler. I'm talking about, would you pay yourself individually?
oh, would I go? No. No, I mean, first off, the aforementioned farm thing, I don't need to do that now. I've already done it. Done the experience, all right? I've shot a rifle, guys. You know? I've done things. So, yeah. What else do we have here? Okay, so where do we want to start? Want to do baseball, guys? Get that out of the way. You know? Stuff happened. The Field of Dreams happened, guys.
Trash. Don't even.
The Field of Dreams game happened. Let's talk about that. Andrew,
That was epic.
what? Yeah, what? Let's start with you, Andrew. What did you think of the Field of Dreams game out in Iowa?
That was better than I honestly. It met all of my expectations and then some. And I'm not even talking about how the game ended. But I mean, it got a little bit corny, especially with the introduction, where Kevin Costner is like,
Good pun there.
"Oh my God,
Are you for real? You didn't realize you did? Oh, okay.
No, that was totally totally unintentional.
Yeah.
My subconscious is a great pun maker, but it got a little bit campy because I'm not talking about the players coming out of the cornfield. That was epic. I knew it was going to happen because someone broke the story earlier. So I knew it was going to happen, but it still was just so cool to watch. Although, as someone pointed out, does that mean that the players are ghosts?
Let's see. Charles, are any of the Yankees disappearing right now? As far as play, they might as well be invisible.
We've all survived COVID, so I can't. If anything, we may be ghosts. We might be ghosts. You know who's a ghost?
Gary Sanchez.
He's a goddamn demon. Aaron Boone's good judgment. That's a ghost right there.
Aaron Boone's been coasting on the ghost of his 2003 ALCS game-winning home run. That's what he is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Andrew, that was pretty cool. I think the whole pomp and circumstance was pretty cool. All of that stuff that they did.
But just to go back to my initial point, though, I think they could have toned down the camp a little bit with Kevin Costner walking out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was cool at first, he's walking out, but he was making the tortoise from Tortoise and the Hare, making him look like a speed demon. He was just walking around, and then when the music hits, he's like, and look, I get it. He's acting. I get it. Totally. Yeah. He's acting, but
they could have shortened that up a bit.
They could have turned it down a few notches.
Yeah. Well, it's baseball,
maybe
right?
Speed up the process a little bit. I mean, but then again, I'm watching from the comfort of my home. If I'm there in Iowa, that probably is a whole different experience.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going by my experience here. The game itself, props to MLB, props to Fox for the presentation was amazing. Um, I had seen beforehand that they were going to make it like a World Series game, but they went all out. They went with drones. They went with the sky cam. A new they went with a camera that was inside of the batter's box.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not the batter's box, but the batter's circle.
Yeah.
But it was a different angle, though. I've seen ones where it's looking directly at the catcher and looking back toward the plate, but this one was actually looking up toward a right-handed batter. I had never seen that before, although that actually was a mistake because the camera got washed out by the floodlight that was directly behind it.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, good try.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do that again, but good try. I mean, it was a good idea because you get to see the contact of the ball, but they've got to experiment with something else. Maybe tilt the angle a little bit so it's not looking directly into the light. That was a good idea. They had a manual scoreboard out in right center.
Yep.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
It and the people there that were up there putting up the scores or whatever, they were wearing old timey outfits, which was really cool. Ken Rosenthal,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Tom Verducci, they were all wearing
all
old
dressed to the nines. Yeah.
Even John Smoltz and Joe Buck were dressed up a bit. And the other thing is all of the fencing, well, the outfield fence, that was really cool because it was basically see-through. So it looked like it was corn, which...
Yeah, it was, they were just using basically the chain link fence, and that was it.
I mean, obviously it would have been cool if there was no fence, but I'm sure that's totally against MLB regulations. But because then you technically don't have an outer limit.
It probably would have been expensive to do, let's say, plexiglass, like an NHL rink or something.
But they did the next best thing, and it was pretty good. And then all the fencing looked like wood.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff, which was really cool. The dugouts looked like they were made out of wood and very stripped back, very minimalist. There were very few advertisements on the fences and around, and those were pretty muted as well. And what else? I'm trying to remember. It's been about a week.
They had a scoreboard in left field. That was probably the most modern of things that was there.
Yeah,
was the video board.
The score bug, as they call it. That's for those who don't know, a score bug is the little thing on the television where it shows you the score, the number of outs.
Mm-hmm.
Really, for any sport, it's whatever shows you whatever.
Heck, we have one. It's on the bottom.
Yes, we do. We do have a score bug. The score bug looked old-fashioned. It kind of gave me a Wrigley Field center field.
Yeah.
Vibe.
Yeah.
What else? The uniforms were great. I mean, props to the Yankees for going old school, but to be honest, if I didn't know,
it's not much of it's not really a difference between
they were wearing the exact same uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
It pretty much was.
Yeah.
Aside from how the grade looked.
Which, I mean, props to the Yankees. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You've been wearing that thing for over 100 years at this point. It's just, it kind of takes the zip out of any sort of throwbacks because
they're not really throwing back to anything.
You don't wear anything else.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, excuse me.
Excuse them for winning 27 championships.
Yeah, you don't ask the Empire. You don't ask Lady Liberty to change her complexion.
You know, ask the stormtroopers to change their uniforms.
Exactly. We keep it consistent here.
But the White Sox, I thought that was a good call on their.
I love the White Sox uniforms. I'm like, should they look like that all the time? Maybe, you know. But of course, it's kind of bad connotations with that team, so they probably don't wear those much because of that.
Although I will say, I appreciate how many people were coming out of the woodwork, not out of the woodwork, but they were speaking up on Twitter saying that Joe Jackson should be unblacklisted and put into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
Yeah, there's no real evidence that he even did gambling.
And if anything, it's evidence to the contrary, because he had a killer World Series. His stats were through the roof.
Yeah, you know, it's unlike what Pete Rose did, or allegedly Evander Kane of the Sharks right now in the NHL. So yeah.
So, but it was a good game overall. I mean, it got a little bit like a lot of baseball games. It kind of hit its doldrums in the middle third. You know, the first two innings, you know, you've got that high of, wow, I'm at the game, you know, let's get this going. Basically from the third through the sixth, kind of hits its lull, and then it brings back up in the seventh through ninth. It just is for all games. There were a shit ton of home runs. Holy cow. I think we ended up with 8 home runs, and I think there were 3 all but one of the first few, I think 5 or so runs between the two teams. I think all but one came off of a home run. So they were just mashing, which, I mean, the first one, woohoo! Second one, woohoo! Eventually it's just like, all right, enough with the home runs, you know.
Sounds like a guy whose team only hits singles.
Well, hey.
They're in first place.
Brett Phillips hit an inside the Parker last night.
They're in first place also, so you know.
It doesn't matter. We're not even going to the playoffs. I'm still going to hold it. Doesn't matter. Listen, I sold the farm on the idea.
I mean, during
that
that game,
hitters.
It was, you know, the White Sox, and then the Yankees kind of came to life in the third, but then the White Sox took that lead, and it's like, okay, and then the Yankees got one more run in the sixth, and then it looked like the White Sox were basically going to wrap this up, and then the ninth inning happened.
That was spectacular.
The gentleman's sweep.
Well, like I said, the game was beautiful. The whole presentation was beautiful, regardless of the game's outcome. It went off without a hitch. It was beautiful. It was the most watched regular season game in 16 years, and with good reason. I just got to say, MLB, I hate a lot of what you do. Rob Manfred, you can go to hell. But for once, you actually made a good decision here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at all of the other major, or with the exception of the NBA, they don't really do a lot of different stuff. But look, NFL goes to London a few times every year. They've gone to Mexico.
Right.
They do a lot of different stuff to kind of shake things up a little bit. NHL has, at minimum, one outdoor game a year, the Winter Classic, and now they're starting to expand to a few more. Baseball, which is, in today's day and age, the most boring of the major sports, I hate to say. It's certainly the longest on average, and it's got the least amount of action. They need to do something to shake things up a little bit, otherwise they're going to continue going down. they need to do more stuff like this, which they are. They're doing it again next year with the Reds and the Cubs, which I am thrilled with those choices. Those are two historic teams. The Reds are the first team, the first and longest continuously operating professional baseball team. The Cubs is the Cubs. And also, I presume they'll be the home team because the White Sox were the home team. The Cubs, they have one of their minor league affiliates in Iowa.
Yep.
Plus, you know what? I don't know. Is Chicago closer to Iowa than?
So okay, so and this
yeah,
kind
of course it is. Illinois is closer to Iowa than Ohio. Of course.
So yeah, like and that's kind of one of the things. It's kind of slight Gottlieb Goon here. Actually, you know what? Let's just talk about this just a bit because it's all things wrong with baseball at the same time, and then we'll continue with the rest of the stuff about that game. And I'm trying to find that darn graphic. Where is it? Okay, so Iowa, guys, probably the worst place to watch a baseball game on TV. And do you guys know why?
Because it's Iowa.
Because they have blackout restrictions up the butt. That's why. If you have an MLB.TV subscription on in Iowa, you are getting screwed because I think they are within 4 hours of Chicago, which has two teams, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 5 hours to St. Louis, and to Kansas City. So at any given time, for the most part, you're going to get blacked out of a lot of games. And people who live in Iowa are most likely fans of, depending on the region, one of those teams. And if you're a favorite, fan of a team outside of that, you still might even get screwed a little bit because every time, I don't know, if you watch let's say the Marlins. I doubt there's a Marlins fan in Iowa, but if there's a Marlins fan in Iowa, it might help a little because you face the Cubs and stuff, but only once. But aside from that, you still might get screwed watching the other teams, So it's because, yes, the Marlins face St. Louis and Chicago and Milwaukee. That's potentially 6 times. That's like 18 games that you're missing out on or something like that. And you're paying for it too. And you're still paying for it, which is, so you're paying for something you can't see. And Iowans, how do you say that, Andrew? You're the Iowans. There we go. Iowers. They continuously get screwed with this type of stuff. So it was so bad that as the MLB was, making this this game, somebody posted out a billboard in that city in Iowa to get their attention that, hey, this really sucks. And it's not just Iowans or Iowans. Highlanders. So it's not just them. It's also other people in other parts of the country. I remember I got blacked out when I was in Tallahassee because I was getting Marlins games. And I guess I was getting Rays games for up there, so I could watch the Rays and I could watch the Marlins. But when the Marlins faced the Braves, I would get blacked out too because apparently it was also Braves territory. And I'm like, what the is this? The Marlins faced them 18 times a season. I'm like, what the hell is this? And it sucks. It really sucks. Imagine that on a grander scale if you're living someplace else. So it's one of the things that hampers baseball's growth. So your Major League Baseball does something like this, and it's like, oh man, this is awesome, this is great. But at the same time, they are also shooting themselves in the foot when they have the opportunity to do better. All right, come on, get with it, guys. It's the 21st century. All right, get with the fellow kids. All right, just don the backwards cap, the backpack, and get Steve Buscemi in here, and do what you need to do. You got some games on YouTube. That's fine. I like that. Do more. Let's cut the cable. All right. So let's get off the Xfinity teat. if you will. Yes, I said teat on the show today. So we're there, guys. We're here. It's the final show of this season, and we can go all out. All right, so that's my Gottlieb goon on that. We had to mention it, and I feel it's incredibly unfair. And I'd like to be able to, get a Major League Baseball streaming subscription, right? They got streaming services all over the place for everything else. Why don't you do baseball and hey, just pick your different plans or whatever, or just things are getting easier, right? Let's get an Xbox Game Pass version of baseball games. Let's go. Okay, so that's me. That's my goon. We can return here if you guys have other goons in the future, but let's talk about the game again. So ninth inning happens. The New York Yankees are down, Charles. Your beloved Yanks, and your boys. Aaron Judge.
Not my boys.
They're not your boys no more? They're not your boys no more?
Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton are my boys.
Okay.
You know who's not my boy? Aaron Boone. You know who's not my boy? Zach Britton.
He keeps putting him in the games.
He's the Lamar Jackson of mindset. Oh, I got COVID twice. I'm going to continue it. Oh, Zach Britton, we're going to go twice, baby. Don't get it.
He's just letting it ride.
And I knew it was going to happen.
So
you know what? Field of Dreams, the movie sucked. I'm gonna say it. It doesn't even deserve a TV show. It's natural. Although, you know what?
Hold on. Let's have this a little bit. Andrew and Charles, is Field of Dreams an actual baseball movie? Or is it just a movie about a father and son?
Movie about father and son. No. You know what's you know what the best baseball movie is of all time? League of Their Own. Not even gonna entertain anything else. Goodbye, boys. I'm done. I hated that game.
I'll give you this, Charles. That is you definitely have a good argument on that being the best baseball movie of all time.
If you build it, they will come.
I've never seen The Sandlot.
What? Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Charles, if you had said that Ed was the best baseball movie of all time, I would have to disown you and kick you off of this show.
Is that the one with the monkey?
Yes.
See, okay, so Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. Here's the modern day equivalent. If it's ninth inning, Aaron Boone will blow it. And lo and behold, he blew it.
I mean, it was crazy that ninth inning. They were down what? It was
7-4. It
was 7-4. You guys decide to come back and score 4 runs. I think all of them were by home run.
Yep, the big boys.
With the big boys, the Bash brothers, they're showing up.
The White Sox closer didn't know how to throw a slider low and outside. To Giancarlo Stanton.
Aaron Boone's like, no one could be more famous than me on a walk-off home run. Like Britton. That's really what it is. I think that's the reason why it blows the game. Anytime it's Aaron Judge, who's doing phenomenal this year. He's going to break maybe 40 home runs. And then Giancarlo Stanton, who is Big Bad Booty Daddy, putting to rest any complaints that Francisco has about him. He's still not.
I don't have any. I mean, look, I miss him. I just miss him. I miss those. Man, he just nobody hits home runs like he did at Marlins Park. I'm just saying, he made Marlins Park look small. He just made it look small.
He did. And what you see is they showed up, but every time it's them, it could be anybody else. Kahishikoga, Gary Sanchez, like, oh no, it doesn't matter. But if it's the guys who are played to hit, he's like, oh, wait a second. Out of all the Yankee prestige history, I have to be the one for the most memorable home run of all time. Boom! I'm gonna put it at Zach Britton, and then it's just gonna get.
Oh, man.
You had 2 outs. I'm like, where's Lozega? I'm like, where's Chad Green? Where's any of these guys coming into it? I think he put through a few of them, but Britton's in there. I got scared, and it's just Zach Britton's done. He was coming back from the weight loss from having COVID. He's had some inflammation. Why is this man even here? Like, that's the whole thing. He's saying, I'm not physically fit, and you as a manager's like, no, he's not physically fit. You don't put in the guy who's not physically fit yet. Maybe down the season. I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't know why we recalled or we put back down Steven Ridings, who messed up a little bit against the White Sox, but he was fine. And you know why I'm infuriated about that game, Field of Dreams? You want to know what's a dream? Because we're a living nightmare. Because we are the Chicago White Sox nightmare. Because we took the other 2 out of 3. We bashed them, baby. We smashed them. We snacked them. We pinned them 1, 2, 3. That was a gentleman's sweep. this opposing team who's like almost 20 games over 500, 10 games lead in the AL Central.
Yeah,
We whacked.
they didn't
We would
have
have
Tony
whacked
La
them too.
Russa, right? That doesn't count.
I mean, ooh, is it salacious because it's season finale? Tony La Russa's not there half the time as it is mentally, so we go from there.
Oh gosh.
I hate that game. That's all I can say about it. It
Ugh.
stings more. And
Ugh.
it's gonna, and we have a live action Red Sox. Oh, Boston's up by one. I'm not Boston, but we're up by one on Boston. But we have a live action game here, so my reactions are gonna be, chef's kiss for you guys. Ooh, Luke Voigt got the home run. We're not gonna return him next year, but still so good.
Yeah. So, yeah, Yankees come back, and I'm like, oh, and then I'm like Giancarlo. I'm like, all right, good for Giancarlo. Good for him. All right, he's not gonna win a ring there, but it's gonna be fun. He'll have that at least. And and then Chicago comes in, and your good old buddy Britton Charles. Your boys, your boy Aaron Boone, Aaron Bleepin Boone. Now you know what the bleepin stands for. Now you get it. You understand. And
more like bum ass Boone.
So Tim Anderson.
No.
And just an absolute no doubter. Like, oh my God, was that a no doubter of a pitch and a home run? Like, whoa, man. Everybody knew it was out. That's how no doubt it was. Dear Lord. I mean, I get it. Like, okay, you give up a home run. I guess, but man, the way that happened, like if he walked it off and it's like, okay, it's maybe down the line or something, or just gets out, the guy jumps up and tries to reach it, but it was like, nope, that is a laser out of the ballpark. All right, everybody, let's go home. Let's take some selfies here before they turn out the lights and drive back to our hotel 5 hours away or something. I have no idea. But man, it's probably, and I talked to Doug about this, it's probably the best regular season baseball game that I can remember in a long, long time. In a long, long time. I can't remember a better regular season baseball game in a while. That's aside, I don't know, aside from like those before when they had the one game playoffs and stuff. Aside from those are technically regular season games. I can't think of much. I mean, that was it. The one between the Padres and the Rockies in 2007. There was the Tigers and Twins one that they had more than a decade ago now. Man, I'm old. Dear God, I'm old. Mike Piazza's home run after 9/11. I remember that regular season game, but there's not much more that I can remember where I'm like, oh my God, this feels like. This is what like Monday Night Football should feel like, right? Just these two epic games, and Monday Night Football's kind of sucked for a while now, but just two teams that really good teams. The White Sox are good this year. That's what helped this, right? The White Sox are actually good this year. That's what's helping this. You got the New York Yankees, who everybody hates, which also works for this, right? It's like, okay, that's great, and. The White Sox, because of the ties to the movie, I'm surprised. Like next year will be the Reds, who won that World Series in 1919. So I guess that's why they chose them along with the Cubs. Although I thought they were gonna pick like the New York Giants or something, or the San Francisco Giants, and they'd wear the New York Giants stuff. But, anyways, probably the best regular season baseball game I've seen in a long while. I can't remember a better one. Like, there's been memorable. I mean, I saw the one after Jose Fernandez died, but it's not, that wasn't nationally televised or anything like that. I'm talking about stuff that was nationally televised. Everybody was seeing it. Everybody was tuned into it. And this is probably like Andrew said, probably the best that baseball could have asked for. It exceeded expectations. Just wow. So good on Major League Baseball for putting on a show. And taking inspiration from all these other leagues and doing something different. They're doing it next year. And now people were speculating on what else can they do? Can they do like a Sandlot version? I haven't seen the Sandlot, guys. I don't know nothing about that movie.
This just bothers me. what was the thing? Was it Andrew who didn't try like another thing?
Empanadas.
Oh, the big debates about empanadas, and I feel like I failed him. I feel like you should have everything sports related revoked, because you haven't seen The Sandlot.
I have not seen it. Just never seen it. Never tried to see it. People tell me I should see it. Like, oh, you like baseball, right? I'm like, yeah, I guess, but yeah.
The quote's out there.
You
You
know?
know who the Great Bambino is? Hey, you know who Hercules is, man?
Yeah, they can't do. I mean, they can't really do much aside from outside of that. Maybe a league of their own. If like maybe, well, that was that was like Chicago, right? They were Rockford Peaches, right? So that's in Illinois. So maybe they could do a game somewhere there and do something like that to honor that movie. But or The Natural, in Buffalo, they could do a thing like that.
They just gotta have fun. That's
They
what it
they
is.
got they could
Baseball-
do Bull Durham because they literally have the Durham Bulls as a team still. You know, and they got aside from that, there's other. I mean, the rest are just Major League Baseball teams in movies, like Angels in the Outfield. Like, all right, Angel Stadium's already being used every day, and the Angels are wasting the careers of two really great players already. And then that one with that kid with the Chicago Cubs, and the other one with the kid from the
Rookie of the
Twins.
Year? What?
Yeah.
Have you not seen that
Oh,
movie?
I've not seen that one either. There we go.
What the? So
I saw the one
is
with the
there-
kid who owns the Minnesota Twins. I saw that
Little
one.
Big League.
Big League.
There we
Okay. So, so what I'm guessing here is you don't like to watch baseball movies.
I've
unless
seen
it's about
Moneyball,
old-
so the A's
unless-
still play
which
Coliseum.
works because my whole point was you only like to watch movies with old, antiquated men as opposed to young, aspiring, rebel hearts. You've never seen Rookie of the Year.
Nah, never seen it. That and The Sandlot, I've never seen. So Angels in the Outfield, the one with the
Andrew, how do you
big
feel
leagues.
about this?
Um,
I feel like we should just cancel you.
Isn't there one?
I'm speechless.
Yeah. I mean, every sport movie has a seminal movie tied to that sport. Rookie of the Year and Sandlot are kind of like my seminal,
I
like these
feel
are
like
movies you
that's
see in
not-
baseball.
I
It's
mean-
not even about the game of baseball, but it is about the game of baseball. It's about the passion of baseball.
I've seen the
fan ship.
Benchwarmers.
Why the hell do I want to watch Moneyball? Oh, look, Billy Bean's gonna be cheap and not go with anything and use analytics.
I
don't
saw
care.
Benchwarmers. I saw that.
And listen, the fact that you saw a Rob Schneider movie is an indictment of who you are as a person already to top. That's the cherry on the I am shocked of uncultured swine Francisco of who you are and whom you be. You're the person that's my favorite ice cream is Neapolitan because I get all three flavors. Pick a side, man. Be
Actually.
original.
No, my favorite ice cream is that Cookie Monster ice cream that I ate in Phoenix, Arizona. That's my favorite ice cream.
God bless, that you're getting some diversity in your life. Do you like adobo on your chicken? I sure as hell hope so.
Of course I do. I'm Latino. I make food. I make bao buns, guys. That was my big accomplishment last week after the show.
I feel so much about this. Like everything you saying makes me hate you even more.
This is even worse than me putting ketchup in my subs.
Yeah, I respected you for your false empanada debate of Hot Pockets empanadas.
Parallel
but if the whole, I think,
evolution. Parallel evolution.
You look into the intent of sport movies, and they shouldn't be relegated to just old men trying to get their prime back, which is Field of Dreams, Natural, Bull Durham. What do you want to watch? Tilling Cup? By all means, go ahead if you want to get the golf concepts in there. It's about everything, including the young comedies. And you, sir, don't like laughter. It seems
No,
with your
they
baseball.
didn't see the Bad News
You don't like
Bears
peanut
either.
butter with your chocolate.
They didn't see either version of the Bad News Bears either.
Well,
Jesus.
you don't need to see the Billy Bob Thornton one, but Tatum O'Neal and Walter Matthau. Yeah, kids, we're really dating ourselves here. Really did like that. That's still a good movie too.
How the hell are we friends, Francisco? What is going on?
I was playing a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Come on, guys.
All right, Francisco. Tell you what. We're going to get empanadas tomorrow.
You
As-
want to
as
watch?
we-
You want to watch a movie while we eat them? We'll watch The Sandlot while we eat it.
At this point, yes. This is uncalled for. This cannot stand. I mean,
Everything you have said has made me violently angry.
What is it you're missing? You're missing Sandlot.
Yeah.
You're missing, and
I
by
saw
the way,
Brewster's Millions. I saw that one with
what the
Richard.
fuck is that?
That's with Richard Pryor and John Candy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Richard Pryor is an amazing comedian.
Those are not baseball movies.
It was on MLB Network.
MLB Network will put anything. They need you to watch their stuff. He hasn't seen Sandlot, Rookie of the Year, Bad News Bears. I have a list now. I'm like jotting this down. I'm like, movie Santa Claus over here.
I mean, you're missing out, Francisco.
Just like we're missing out on McDonald's new BTS meal. Sorry, just had to put the plug.
I've never played any of the Mech Warrior games.
Oh, that's true. But
I don't have a PlayStation.
Francisco, I mean, watch Sandlot is there's an iconic scene in there revolving around July 4th. I mean, and that scene is, if you need a kick, you know the scene I'm talking about, Charles.
Many of them.
But the July 4th scene.
I've seen Ken Burns' baseball.
Okay, you got something going there. Okay, very good. I mean, that doesn't make up for the fact that you haven't seen Sandlot. I mean, Rookie of the Year, you should have seen.
I've seen The Rookie.
Another antiquated old man trying to get his comeback here. What is your fascination with this?
I mean, listen. Rookie of the Year, it's a great movie. I love it. But none of these are more unacceptable than not having seen Sandlot.
Thank you.
Like, that is punishable by death.
Though I will say Rookie of the Year is probably Gary Busey's best role ever, and
yes, I agree. And he wasn't completely insane in that one.
Yeah. Also, we do love him in Predator 2 if you want some real fine bad acting.
But I mean, Francisco.
Guys, I think this is going to segue to the segment.
You know what? I remember this. Francisco and I went to one of the Marlins firework games a while back, several years ago when we were still in law school. And I remember telling him that this, they opened up the roof. It was at night. They turned off the lights. They started doing the fireworks. I said, Francisco, that reminds me of the fireworks scene in Sandlot. And he said, I'd never seen it. I said, what the fuck?
So this is your fault. You've had years to get me to this.
I told him he had to see it. This was probably 5 years ago. I just remembered this right now, and you still have not seen it. This is unacceptable, my friend.
You're not even neutral chaos, man. You're just pure bad chaos. At this point. Francisco has a particular type of movie viewings, apparently, aside from benchwarmers. I gotta be lowbrow toilet humor, or he needs the Howard's End equivalent of movies with his baseball. I'm just so disappointed in you. I have no word. I can't even insult you. That's what bothers me. You can insult everybody. Y'all who knows me, where I'll take a shot at anyone. I have no qualms to it. I'm that guy that, after the Kobe incident, I'm like, look at this meme. But then this, I have no insult. You're not even this is just true disappointment. There is no words. I can't. You just antiquated old men baseball. And I get it, but those aren't fun, in any way, shape, form. Everything I hate is so much gummy.
I'm like Toby to Michael Scott, right? He's right now.
Yeah, you want the James Ivory merchant movies that they used to make in the 70s, 80s, and 90s of specialty right here. Prestige, theater, coming to a baseball. And you know what the problem? You know why Rookie of the Year and The Sandlot are so fantastic? Because it bucks the trend of believability and has characters you care for. Field Dreams, Snorefest. partially because I like Kevin Costner as a director. Man, he's not really that good of an actor. And he's fine, but very neutral. The Open Range, we asked Swift. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Even maybe War.
And
So much stuff coming
Superman's
into
dad
it.
and Man of Steel.
Yeah, he is good coming to it. There's just some stuff that kind of came to it. You want that Robert Redford, and we love Robert Redford. Robert Redford, follow us on Twitter. FJOJR, Charles the True, Danbury Hollis, Sports Goofs. Imagine if we got him. I would shut up and listen to him talk. Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
I would love to know about his experience on All the President's Men.
Yeah, right.
That is one of my favorite movies, and
just everything. I just want to know how he was a Paul Newman. There were some good periodic pieces. It's just he's so good as an actor. He was even, for you young kids, he was also in The Winter Soldier. He was Pierce, that bad guy, which took me. I was like, what is this? But you want antiquated old men. I can't do this, and I feel like this creates I don't know if we'll do it.
I haven't seen that one where Clint Eastwood is a scout. I haven't seen that one. So.
Oh no, you don't need to see Trouble.
You don't need to see that.
Okay.
You don't need to see
I didn't see Fever Pitch either.
I
didn't see that.
You don't need to see that either. Why would you want to watch?
I don't want to
I
watch
used to
it.
have a conspiracy that the MLB rigged that whole thing because it ends with them winning the World Series, and they say, "Oh no, we scripted it." I'm like, did it? Because it's just some coincidence that the same year, the Farrelly brothers, or whoever made it, I think it's the Farrelly brothers, go on and make this stupid little movie about Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barry, and I can't stand Jimmy Fallon. Just not.
Oh, that's something we all agree on.
Not my saint of worship, as they say over in Brazil. Just no. And I always have the conspiracy theory, believe it or not. And you know what? In 2021, I'm allowed to believe in a conspiracy theory because we had trash cans and we're still going to acknowledge Houston Astros. Ooh, there's the little sting coming back into it. I had to get the petty because I've been in shock for some time.
Okay.
But I feel like there's so many sport movies that now we have to see what the seminal ones were and to see whether or not Francisco has seen them, because now I feel like there's a trend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started on the hockey ones.
I mean, I only know of...
I haven't seen Slapshot.
You haven't seen Slapshot? Man, aside from the Mighty Ducks, that is...
I saw Mighty Ducks.
Newman in it.
I saw Mighty Ducks. I saw...
Did you see all three?
The first two.
But they're in college. Coach Bombay left them.
I didn't see that one.
How's Charlie supposed to figure out what kind of man
I'll
he
get
is
my
without the
sister's
guidance?
Disney Plus subscription. I'll catch up. They got the TV show now.
I've not watched the TV show.
Yeah, and then
I don't want Disney to my money.
Yeah, I've seen what's the one about the 1980 U.S. A Miracle. I've seen Miracle.
Miracle.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You only watch it for Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
That's a former baseball player, Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah. Hey, as a callback. Okay, guys. Yeah, this really derailed the show, huh?
No, I felt like because we're going off the air for vacation or season finale, we are going to come back, and the first thing Andrew and I are going to ask this man is hey, Francisco, did you watch?
By the way, this is a great. We're streaming on a new platform today, and it seems like this is a perfect way for people to start and end on, because we're on Mob Crush. By the way, guys, that's the streaming platform we're on right now. That's different. Oh, Andrew, so you got somebody popping in?
Yeah, but we need to do non-sponsor first.
That's right. So, if are they sitting waiting, or are you? We're at the 53-minute mark. We could start the non-sponsors early.
I want to. It's going to be a long segment with them.
Okay. Well then. So let's do that. Let's go to an early. 7 minutes early. A word from our non-sponsors, people, places, things, concepts that we've been enjoying over the last week. I sure haven't been enjoying The Sandlot, that's for sure. Over the last week. So, guys, where do we want to start? Who's done a thing? No? Anybody? Okay, I'll go with this.
I'll go. I didn't go. I haven't gone first the last couple of times.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, honestly, I gotta say my non-sponsor is MLB.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
I feel sick saying it, but that game just kind of restored my faith in humanity of baseball. It it was everything that baseball is. It's the sport that I love. And it was nice to see them actually do something right for once. So I'll throw them a bone and say they're my non-sponsor. Positive reinforcement, gentlemen. It works. Obviously, the word of me, one lowly baseball fan in Miami, obviously means the world. So I'll give them credit where credit is due. So MLB for not completely botching it and actually doing a hell of a job with the Field of Dreams game. You're my non-sponsor. Promo code Cornbomb.
Okay.
That's what I was calling home runs. Was Cornbomb.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a surprise.
I know, crazy, right?
Yeah, for reals. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go next. So guys. Oh, I already said it, man. My non-sponsor are Bao Buns. Bao Buns, guys.
A 2 for 2.
Huh?
Didn't you get them last week? Or no, we were talking about last week.
Yeah, we're talking about them. I was talking about my plans to make them, but this time I made them, guys. I made some Bao Buns. So Bao Buns for the uncultured swine out there. All right, even though maybe I shouldn't say it because I haven't seen the Sandline. Put ketchup in my subs. So, Bao Buns, they're buns. They're from Asia. I don't know where in Asia. There's some Vietnamese ones. There's Chinese ones. They got different shapes and things and different ways to cook them. I made them like the ones you see on the screen here. So I'm gonna show them off right here. Like that. I made them like that. Okay. So I found a recipe on YouTube. This woman, Marianne's Kitchen, great video, step-by-step process of how to make these. I bought what you see here on the screen here, which is a steam basket made out of bamboo. I went legit, guys. I went all the way with this. The whole entire thing was very zen, right? Very, very Buddhist. I'm just naming all the Asian stuff that I know. And 3 hours. Took me 3 hours to make them, guys. 3 hours to make 7 buns. It was a touch and go for a bit there. I wasn't sure. I had to make the mix of the flour and the stuff and the whatevers, and then make that, let that sit for an hour and a half, then come back. It all rises because of the yeast and stuff. Pop that out, knead it, make sure there's no air bubbles, no nothing. Just kind of pound that thing all the way as much as possible. Then flatten it out, cut it up, which I got about 7 there. Then let those sit there for about half an hour, and then lift them up, make sure they don't stick to each other, make sure I can be able to open them, stick them inside the steam basket, then pop it on top of a pot or something with some boiled water, get that steam, close up the steam basket, let it sit there for about 12-15 minutes, then let it cool down, pop it up, then check out to see if they taste good, and then fill it with whatever you want, whatever your heart desires. And my heart desires a lot of things to fill stuff with, guys. Okay, all right. I make peanut butter and jelly arepas, for God's sake. I put ketchup in subs, guys. I put whatever. If it's a pocket or a hole, I will put stuff in there that is not supposed to be in there. People can take this out of context if they feel like it. But I nailed it on the first shot, guys. All right, they were bigger than normally. But you know what? I just made the XL versions. That's fine. I'll make smaller versions next time. I wasn't sure about the portion size or anything like that, but they came out just as good as they do at the restaurants. All right, and then I filled mine with. I had some bison, guys. I found this. Oh God, man. God, am I gonna do a dual non-sponsor? I think I will, guys. All right. I went to a place called Wild Forks. I put Wild Forks for some reason, but Wild Fork, that is a store. Buy some meat. Get all kinds of meat there, guys. It was next to the FedEx when I was headed on over there. Let me just put on zip code. I don't care. Just put a zip code, random zip code. I don't care. Just get me out of here. Get off the website, guys. Start shopping. I don't care. Okay, so they got all kinds of meat there, guys. You want some? Oh, God, man, I don't need this. And you want some fish? They got fish. All right, there were some swordfish there, guys. It's the nice and fancy. So this is the good stuff. They got oysters. They got your shellfish. You got porks and your beefs and your chickens and your turkeys and your ducks. All right, but they got some exotic stuff too, guys. You want some elk? They got some elk. You want some bison? They got some bison. You want ostrich? They got ostrich. I haven't gone to ostrich, guys. I might try that out.
You ever had ostrich?
Never had ostrich. They had some
I've
gator
ostrich
too.
Turkey before.
So I made some garlic sesame bison to fill my bao buns with. Thanks to this store, it's actually I bought a lot of meat for fairly cheap. They got some good prices, guys. All right, and they flash freeze their stuff, so these things thaw like that. I mean, it is, it can be a slog to defrost meat. But at this place, it's already frozen. Stick it in your fridge, and because it's been flash frozen, that means it'll defrost a lot quicker. Right? You can stick it in the sink if you feel like it, run some water in there, but it'll be good to go in about, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 minutes. Heck, they even make it so that you can just stick it on the grill if you feel like it, or stick it in your microwave, or your George Foreman grill, or your air fryer, what have you. Whatever you guys got going, that's what they got going. And the combination of this, along with the bao buns of my culinary skills, guys, are through the roof. I know how to make ramen and all that stuff, man. This is great. I put ketchup on my subs. Like, I am a food connoisseur, okay? And maybe someday I'll make empanadas and we can all sit down and watch, I don't know, I guess The Sandlot. So
Movies.
Actual movies that supposedly I'm missing out on. Promo code, I guess I'm an uncultured swine. So uncultured.
I would have gone with Big Bao Buns, so you could just sing the Big Buns.
Oh, I like big bao buns. I cannot lie. Okay, that works too.
That goes with it. So I'm up. It's kind of a dual one too, just because it is hot in Florida. It is so damn hot, man. And when you need something refreshing to drink and refreshing to eat, and I had a court at 1:30 today, so I left to get my lunch at 11:30, and I didn't know what I want to get. I had Tijuana Flats over the weekend, and I'm a non-sponsor. Still good. You guys should get it. I had the Colonel last night for dinner after I worked out intensively, because of course that's what would happen. You exercise for almost 2 hours. I'm gonna get some fried chicken, but I can't control what the people bring in the house. I can only accept and receive, right? Because it beats PB&J. But I knew I had to go with something a different norm. I'm going to my car, go to the car, trapped in the heat. Even got my sunshade. What the hell's going on? Sweating it out already. Get out of my car to this place of establishment. Sweating it out already. I don't understand how I have lived here for 25 years and my body has, like, you're not used to this yet? But when it is hot and it is stanky, you need something that's just refreshing. So I went to Jimmy John's, get a nice healthy-ish lunch. My healthy is getting the combo, the Billy Club, with a big-ass cookie. And this is where the duality comes in. So Jimmy John's is like my non-sponsor, with the caveat of what I got, because the Billy Club was good. Their cookies are awesome. Their triple chunk chocolate cookie, big, huge, tasty. That's really what their non-sponsor kind of comes from. And everybody has a debate of what kind of subs they want to get their stuff from. I have a hierarchy. The best to me is always Jersey Mike's, but they're so expensive when you go for the Giants, but you shouldn't eat the Giants in one sitting. Really, it's like 2 subs at once, but the quality is good. I like Jimmy John's for the bread. I actually have Publix pretty low in the standard subcategory, unless you're going with the Publix.
I like Jimmy John's bread.
Tenders.
You buy those day olds
Jimmy
too?
John's.
Yeah,
Awesome. The bread matters. The bread matters so much, and they could use a little diversity, but they're quick, they're prompt. But the cookie is just so damn good, because I don't want chips. I had chocolate smoothie yesterday because I'm trying to be healthy. I had an island green. I'm going to keep my body alive to make it to 32 next week, guys. We're going to survive it. But I wanted that damn cookie. So that damn cookie was so flavorful, to kind of go from that. But then I got the other kicker, the deal with the heat. I try not to drink a lot of soda. I really don't drink a lot of soda. You guys have known me for a while. I just drink a lot of water. When I have the sodas, usually if I use it as a mixer, I don't like to go out there. But I know it was hot. And what did they have on tap right there for me? A nice, cool, refreshing cherry Coke. Oh, that syrup was so good, man. brought that back in the office, took a bite of my Billy Club, sipped up my cherry Coke, then had my big giant ass cookie, and it was good and it was delicious and I loved it because I'm kind of sick of regular Coca-Cola. I'm sick of the bite. I'm sick of the bitter taste. I'm sick of the sensation. I require sweet. Look at me. You want to know what my spirit animal is? It's not Violet Beauregard, but it's the other ones like I Want It Now, Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. That's me with anything that is sweet. You sweet, I want it, man. A cookie, let me have it. Soft drink, sure. It has taken like 8 years of discipline to take away from that stuff. Man, when I was in law school, I probably ate a whole lot of that stuff. But you know what I did? I went to Publix today. I was like, I had to get milk, but I like to treat the family. I got cheesecake. I have that sweet tooth. But they were able at Jimmy John's to take care of my thirsty quenches, to take care of my tummy rumblings, and also give me that sugar rush that I need to go to court. So Jimmy John's, non-sponsor, in addition to Cherry Coke. And listen, it is not up for the debate whether Cherry Coke's better or Wild Pepsi Cherry is better. They're both adequately perfect and suitable for me. I love them both. They're one's wild and one's Cherry Coke brand. So those are my stool non-sponsors. I don't want to go non-sponsors and read one thing and go into another. Non-sponsors, promo code. Promo code Sweet Tooth.
Okay. All right, guys. So that's our non-sponsors. Early, but Andrew's got somebody he's gonna bring in here. How are we bringing them in, Andrew? How are we doing this?
I'm gonna have them in on my phone.
Okay. We can't patch them in on the Facebook now. Not possible.
I'm not friends with them on Facebook, so
Okay. We can do the Google stuff too if you want. You can, take a couple minutes to get that set up. It would be nice and clear, but I'm not sure how you guys want to do it.
Give me a second.
So, I can do a small segment while I get that set up or whatever. I'm not sure.
Side note: Yanks up 2-0.
If not, we'll do it that way. That's fine. All right. Well, while we wait for that, I can always do one of these smaller segments because I had something going.
Stanley got a homer.
Oh, I miss him. I miss him. Look, I really do miss him. He was one of if God, man, we probably wouldn't have kept him. I don't know if he would have exercised that option to stay or not. It depends on the losing. He would have he's getting that money guaranteed. But man, oh man.
The thing is that he's still productive, man. And the thing is, his contract becomes super tradable if the NL switches into a designated hitter league.
Okay.
At some point.
Well, Andrew's getting that set up. I can do a player remember to forget. Get this one out of the way. All right, my player remember to forget is Glenn Davis.
Slightly familiar.
Not the Glenn Davis, not Glenn Big Baby Davis, not that one. That's why I chose him. Charles. Right, this is a different Glenn Davis. This is Glenn Davis, first baseman. I went to State College of Florida, Manatee.
Wait, can I pause you guys?
Yeah, what?
I have him on the line.
Okay, well, we'll get back to Glenn Davis later. That's fine. We'll get back to him. I got a whole thing set up. Oh yeah, Andrew, I bought something for my brother-in-law on home field, by the way. It's his birthday next week.
Okay.
Mississippi State T-shirt. Yeah.
How does he like it?
No, he hasn't gotten it yet. It's a surprise. Okay. Yeah.
Well, you just announced it on your podcast, though? What if he listens?
He doesn't listen to us.
Well, damn you, brother-in-law.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, gentlemen, we have a returning guest.
Returning.
His name is Matthew. He was on the show about a year or so ago, maybe. I've lost all sense of time. He is a big Boise State and Cal.
Yes.
You remember him?
I remember him. Boise Blue or something like that?
Yep, Boise Blue.
Holy crap, I'm good.
He is here to discuss the upcoming college football season, and there might be a little bit of trash talk between us because UCF and Boise State face off in week 1.
Okay. Well, welcome. Welcome back. Can you hear us?
I think so. Can you hear us?
I can.
Okay.
All right, that's awkwardness on my part. I didn't know if it was my turn to speak yet. Hey guys, thanks for having me back on. I had a lot of fun last time, so back here to do it again. Trash talking's kind of been going up. As Andrew said, Andrew's been seeing some of my back and forth with some UCF fans. It's just so hard to be mean to you guys, though, after kind of what both teams have gone through.
Yeah, to kind of give you guys some background on that, Boise State was the...
You guys were the original...
Correct.
Non-Power 5 team to not get a shot.
Yeah, I mean, there were teams before that got snubbed, but they were the first to really get snubbed on a routine basis. They kind of set the standard for what it means to be one of those top tier non-automatic qualifier / group of 5 schools. And we kind of picked up the mantle from them, as it were. So you could almost call it a friendly rivalry, if you will, because obviously we're playing against each other. We have a lot in common in regard to being kind of looked down on by the establishment. There's still kind of that little bit of, jabbing and elbowing going on here and there, but it's nothing like we have with South Florida or they have with BYU. So it's like a little sibling rivalry, if you will.
All right, so season's about to start, guys. Things are going to go down. My Seminoles, Bobby Bowden died, but we knew that was going to happen at some point. And I don't know if I should be apathetic or not, because if the Seminoles suck, I will be watching the Florida Panthers and, heck, maybe the Miami Dolphins.
You're the worst person when the Seminoles are terrible.
Oh, yeah, I have absolutely no... I really do not care at all if they are terrible. Oh man, I am the most fair weather of fair weather Florida State fans. All right, I pay that damn tuition. You better be good at football. That's for sure. So that's just me. But how are things gonna look for you guys this year? Matthew, how are things gonna go this college football season?
Well, I look at so I'm looking at this team, and there are so many things to be excited about for Boise State. Starting with the offense. Pretty much every single piece of that offense is coming back. Obviously COVID presented so many issues for Boise State last year, and it's easy to look at it and say, they finished 5-2. They had blowout losses. They had a blowout loss to BYU. We ended up losing in our conference title game to a team we had never lost to before. There's just the season was just so bizarre, and so many of those offensive pieces barely touched the field last year. So it's really hard to gauge what we can expect from the offense this time around. But one thing that I can say for sure is that the chemistry of that team is it's there. And that's kind of what gives so many Boise State fans hope. We brought in so much talent. And let me clarify, the team is young. Your Seminoles, man, they lost to a freshman quarterback and a freshman running back. We full on expected to not win that game. And it looked like it was going to be that way for a while. But they were freshmen at that time. They came back the next year, injuries galore, COVID galore. Some people opted out sitting, people got sick. So the season, it's 5-2 disappointing by Boise State standards, but it's also a wonder that we only lost 2 games. I'm very optimistic optimistic personally, especially with the defense. All units on the defense, maybe save the secondary, it has my full confidence. I told Andrew this earlier through chat that the secondary is definitely what worries me. I think that's the thinnest piece of that defense for Boise State. And obviously, the last thing you want to do is play somebody like DG, who just seems to get the ball wherever it needs to go. So I think that they're going to have their work cut out for them in that regard in the first week. But ultimately, I'm very optimistic personally, guys. I'm looking forward to a good year. I think that it's going to be a fun year, an explosive year for Boise State, and just hoping for the best that COVID doesn't get them.
Yeah, it's kind of back up his point. I sort of have the same concerns on the flip for UCF. Our offense is unbelievable under, as he said, DG. DG is our quarterback, Dylan Gabriel. He can sling the ball. He threw for over 600 yards in at least 2 games last year. And so offense is not an issue. We have a lot of our wide receivers returning. It's just the defense. That was our Achilles heel last year. So Matthew thinks it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think any UCF fans who say it's going to be a 20-point blowout are insane. At least on UCF's part. Although honestly, I don't think it's going to be a huge blowout in either direction. But I don't know. We'll see. Go ahead.
I agree with that, Andrew, on what you kind of said. But the only thing I'm going to disagree with you on is actually your assessment of your guys' defense. And the reason I'm going to disagree with you there is because you had so many opt-outs last year on the defensive side of the ball that are now coming back. And so I think that people measuring the UCF defense off of a 2020 performance and not a 2019 performance, I think we're going to see – I think your defense is going to reflect more on that 2019 side. If I'm being completely – and this is just my speculation. Granted, they're going to need to adapt to a new system. Whatever Malzahn and his crew try to put in place, that's going to have, you're going to have growing pains there. You're looking at them trying to, build that team chemistry, that cohesion that defensive units are really dependent on in terms of creating that defensive net to block people from getting through. I think that there's a lot of question marks, but I think that if we had, I'm leaning more towards kind of seeing more of that 2019. And I don't know why I'm saying the UCF, that 2019 Central Florida defense. That's a little jab at you, my friend. I think we're going to see that 2019 Central Florida defense come into this game against Boise.
If that's the case, then we're totally getting a 20-point blowout. I'm kidding. No, it's going to be a good game. I wish I could have gone in person, but unfortunately, the virus, COVID, whatever you want to call it, that kind of scuttled that plan. This was when this game was announced. I immediately started looking forward to it. I honestly am looking more forward to this game than the Louisville game. Or we have a Maryland game coming up soon. I wanted to go to this one. This, it was, he was going to come down. I was going to get him some lazy moon, show him around campus and all that jazz. Alas, that ain't happening. So, hopefully.
We can see this in Boise, though. I'll be at that game. Hopefully. I mean, who knows what the future holds, but I do plan to get there.
And I hope to make it up to Boise for that one. So we'll get it worked out somehow. So another question for you then is, you are also a Cal Bears fan.
I am.
That's where our boy Aaron Rodgers is from, right, Charles?
Trash.
So let me ask you then, you have a bit more of a grasp on what's going on the West Coast. What's going on over there? You guys have a new commissioner. Larry Scott is finally gone.
Thank God.
So what do you think about that and about the new commissioner this upcoming season? And I guess to kind of extend it, the supposed alliance, if you will, between the Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big Ten.
So let me start with the commissioner, because I got a lot to say about that. So the new Larry Scott was a plague, man. You look at, there was a time when the Pac-12 was a premier conference. They were getting the recruits. I mean, and it's, there was so much kind of going into that, that kind of West Coast vibe, that feel, those high-octane offenses, those stout defenses. The Pac-12 was very attractive in not just football, but in all sports, the schools, and even academically. They're a powerhouse in that regard. Larry Scott came along, and people were excited about him. He was kind of visionary. He had a lot of great ideas. He was a jolt of energy that the conference needed. If I remember correctly, he got that initial expansion in with Utah and Colorado, and then he decides to pull this thing out called the Pac-12 Network, which was not entirely his brainchild, but the way that it went about it, from what I'm understanding, is his issue. I'm in the heart of Pac-12 country. I grew up watching UCLA, USC. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, moved out to Orange County. One of the things that really, I am literally in the heart of Pac-12 country. The issue here is the games got closed out. We couldn't watch them on local television anymore because of this Pac-12 network. And that was such a problem because the entire West Coast got kicked out of it because Larry Scott was so adamant about having the Pac-12 network streamed on only networks that would pay X amount of dollars. And unfortunately, those networks are not readily available or extremely expensive here. And so there, all of a sudden, these teams are not getting exposure. You're not seeing UCLA, USC, Stanford, Washington. You're not seeing these teams on national television anymore.
It's not just Major League Baseball that has a problem with this blackout stuff.
We were discussing earlier about how Major League Baseball's blackout system is horrendous. So that actually ties back into what you're saying pretty well.
Yeah. So you guys, you have that feel there. Like we got kind of blacked out, and if we wanted it, we needed to go get like Dish Network or something that nobody has here really. So and go ahead.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's just, it was such a bad situation all in all. And I'm hoping right now, there's no indication that this new guy, and I forget his name, is going to change any of that. We don't know if that's going to happen. I can hope for it. I'd love to be able to watch my Golden Bears. I'd love to be able to watch UCLA, USC. These are things I'd like to see. But they really blacked everything out. And you saw, there's a direct correlation. 2 years into the Pac-12 network, recruits didn't want to go there because they're like, I'm not going to be on TV. I'm not going to get that exposure. People aren't going to see me. And that's a big thing for recruits, is getting the exposure. Every single college football player is there to get to the next level. And if people don't watch you play or they don't see you play, that's not going to happen. So now you're seeing the Pac-12 in the state that it's in right now. So we can keep our fingers crossed that things change. But I'm just glad that the cause of it is gone.
And that kind of speaks to basically what Larry Scott became a meme with how bad he was. So,
yeah.
And then, what are your thoughts on this alliance, if you will, between the Pac-12, ACC, Big Ten?
So, I don't think it's going to happen in the way that people are saying it's going to happen. First of all, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. That is a scheduling nightmare, first of all. And secondly, I think are the conferences in talk? I'm sure they are. The SEC is trying to do its thing. They made the moves by getting Oklahoma and Texas. And to be quite frank with you, I don't think that they're done. I think they're going to make a grab for other programs, probably in the ACC. I think they're going to at least go for 2 more, Clemson being the obvious choice there. But I think if the Big 12, the Big 10, the Pac-12 form any sort of kind of alliance in that regard, I think that it's going to be in terms of a kind of out-of-conference schedule alliance, in my opinion. I think that that's the smarter way to go, personally. Trying to form this major 32-team super conference, can they figure out the logistics? Probably. Do they want to? Is that beneficial? I don't think so, personally. But it just looks desperate, in my opinion. The fact remains, and I've said this for years, is that the SEC is such a top-heavy conference that people, the only reason that they're kind of getting their way is not from sheer power. They've got Bama, and that's about it. They've got LSU, they've got Florida, they got Georgia, but these are teams that kind of fizzle out as the year goes on that we've seen. Unless LSU took a complete dump from going their national title year to what the disaster they were the year after. It's like the only real perennial power of that conference is Bama, and then maybe Georgia. Florida kind of flares up every so often. Tennessee's a dumpster fire. It has been for God knows how long. You're looking at Vanderbilt, that honest to God, I forget is even in the conference every so often. There's Ole Miss, there's Mississippi State. These are not perennial powers. And just because you're in the SEC and you go beat up on the ITT Techs and the University of Phoenix in your out of conference schedule, that doesn't mean anything to everybody else. The perception they're getting of being a superpower is what the media is allowing it to be. And I think that that's just the truth of the matter. Adding Texas, everyone's talking about Texas, and it's like, what are we going to do? We're going to watch Texas fight Arkansas for that 4th win of the year every year, and that's supposed to bring in some major ratings? Oklahoma, again, another one. They're great in the beginning. They kind of fizzle out at the end. I blame their offense. They've got an offense that just beats the hell out of their players over the years. But, over the course of the weeks. But, I think that if again, outsider looking in, I'm not a professional sports analyst. I'm not a financial advisor. But if I'm looking on the outside, the move looks desperate. And I think it only serves to validate what the SEC thinks of itself. And that's just that's my opinion on it. You can take that for what it's worth, but that's my 2 cents on it.
All right. Do you guys have any questions?
So if you're trying to take ACC teams, at least kind of help out with the Pac-12, we know Clemson was a suggestion. What other team would catch your eye that you think would actually be able to benefit that conference?
The only one that makes actual sense to me would probably be Florida State, in my opinion. And the reason is I think it expands that Florida market for the SEC. It's got that blue blood name. It's got that money. It's got that tradition. And I think that those are things that the SEC kind of holds important. So if the top two targets in that conference, in my opinion, are Florida State and Clemson.
Yeah,
And then
I think
you're loved.
I was thinking about that question. I'm like, I mean, historically, bringing Georgia Tech in to have that Georgia Tech rivalry from a historical standpoint, because I think Georgia Tech used to be in the SEC.
they were a long time ago.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's the only other, like, if a consolation prize that they can't pry one of the others out.
I mean, I think the only advantage to bringing in Georgia Tech is just for that rivalry reason, but they don't really bring much else to the conference. I mean, really the only benefit is just Georgia and Georgia Tech save one out of conference game each year. Florida State, that saves an out of conference game each year, and like Matthew mentioned, it's actually a net positive for the conference. And then same thing with adding Clemson, because their main rival is South Carolina, which is in the SEC, so that's saving an out of conference game as well. I think they play every year, yeah.
I think so. I do.
So
yeah, the rivalry game. So yeah.
So when you're limited, the SEC, when you're limited to 3 out of conference games each year, having one predetermined for you is kind of a downer. So if you're able to free that up, I mean, that's good business. You can use that on someone else, but it only makes sense if they're actually going to add to the conference as a whole.
Yeah, I think building on current markets would probably serve them best. I think, like I said, building on that Florida market. Looking at the Gators, they like I said, they kind of fizzle up and down. It's think of it like like shaking up a soda. Kind of that's how I see Florida. They kind of like fizzle up and make a lot of noise, and then they just kind of die down when you ignore them. And then there's, and then I think by bringing in Clemson, you're really kind of just solidifying the hold in that South Carolina market. And granted, I mean, I say South Carolina market. I don't know if that's even a legitimate market or not, but I think that taking control of that state, you know what I mean, is I think just by adding Florida State and adding Clemson, you're really, really solidifying the foothold in that area. It is what I mean. Florida's a recruiting hotbed. It makes complete sense for them to want to get into that. They had Texas A&M, which was the door for the SEC to really get into Texas. Now they've really taken it by adding in the Longhorns, and then they got Oklahoma, which is just that Red River rivalry is just such a big deal to them. But that really helps solidify that Texas market too, because Oklahoma really pulls a lot of kids from them. So, I mean, strategically, it makes a lot of sense. It really does. But, who knows what they've got up their sleeve. They claim they're done. I doubt it. But I don't think kind of going back to the Super Conference thing, I don't think that's going to happen. I think, if anything, I mean, the Big Ten already requires, conferences to schedule out of – you're not allowed to schedule anybody outside of FBS for out-of-conference games. I know the Pac follows that too. The Big 12, I don't think so. But so you've already kind of seen that. But I think that what it would do to kind of keep that money within those 3 conferences, rather than going and scheduling the SEC out of conference, I think you're going to see a lot more of those those Ohio State and Oregon matchups. I think you're going to see Washington and Michigan kind of take each other on. That's what I think is what we're going to end up kind of settling on, in my opinion. Sorry, guys. Drop the keys.
And then do you have any other, takes on the rest of the country? That's kind of
have you seen The Sandlot?
Have I seen The Sandlot?
Yes.
What millennial hasn't?
Well, what a perfect introduction to this. So let me ask you this: do you like movies about young fire in the hearts and passion and love of the sports and camaraderie of friendship, or do you like old antiquated men trying to get back in their life because they missed their first opportunity? Because there's a man named Francisco who would like to tell you about his snorefest interest in movies because he's never seen a Sandlot.
So are you talking like Sandlot versus like Field of Dreams type of thing?
Yeah, well, yeah. Unfortunately, I never thought we had to come to this. A civil war breaks out.
I want. If I had to pick, I want the Sandlot, the Mighty Ducks. I mean, maybe Angels in the Outfield.
You're fired, Francisco.
I mean, hey, Field of Dreams, it's got its place, I don't hate them, but for my childhood, that speaks to me more.
Well, Francisco never saw it.
Sorry, guys. I was playing. I watching Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, playing Sonic.
We were
on
too.
Sega Genesis. You're
like a year older than me, and I still saw it.
I saw Mighty Ducks. Okay, I saw Angels in the Outfield. I saw Space Jam. All right.
One right does not absolve 20 wrongs. Who taught you this illogical thinking? You're that guy who says, "Oh yeah, Rudy's a great college football movie," and then you forget all the greatest college football movie of all time.
Well, which one is that one?
I was about to say it was Varsity Blues, but it's not. I will bring that up in a second. I'm just giving examples here of what we talk about.
I'm not really into Rudy. I mean, I've seen it, but I'm not really into Rudy.
It's The Water Boy. How have you not?
Oh my!
Understand?
I've seen The Water Boy. Okay, come on, man.
Jesus, you were willing to watch. I was waiting for you.
Good dude, I watched the Rob Schneider Benchwarmers movie. How am I not gonna?
I know, but that is not Water Boy capability. Would you say Forrest Gump is a college football movie? Because then, if we are going to encompass it, feel good family connections. That'll keep me up at night as I think about it.
No, not really. I mean, it's just very brief moment of the movie,
He just kept running.
I mean, because you could say Forrest Gump was a war movie at the same time, you could say that too.
Wait, have you seen? Since we're on football topics, this brings history. Have you seen The Little Giants?
No.
Ah, God, just.
This is awful.
Damn it!
I like the one where the guy from Syracuse. That one. I like that one where he wins the Heisman Trophy and all that stuff. I like that one. It's historical.
Little Giants is the football equivalent of the Sandlot to a degree. I always remember the stick-up scene.
I've seen Mike.
No. No one's gonna. I was gonna do a hot take and so no one's gonna not the 13-year-old insert your girlfriend, but that's rude. But no, Mike doesn't count.
We've been hammering on Francisco all episode because of his lack of seeing. We have a segment called Uncultured Swine, which is usually dedicated to us learning about sports and things outside of the United States. But for this episode, Francisco is the uncultured swine.
Have you seen Varsity Blues, The Replacements? Have you seen The Replacements? I don't care about Varsity Blues.
I've seen that.
Okay, good, because Shane Falco is an American hero.
Wait, hold on. Matthew has a question, guys.
Sorry, Matt.
Well, I haven't heard anybody talk about Remember the Titans. Please tell me
I have seen that, please. Yeah. Yes, I have seen that. It's okay.
Listen.
You don't have to kill me.
Just as much as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, we've seen Remember the Titans. I would hope so, at least on my end.
I've seen it as well.
Okay.
Where's that one? Wasn't there one with Samuel L. Jackson as a coach? I've seen that one. Coach Carter, right?
Coach Carter, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Not great. How do we feel about Any Given Sunday?
The one with The Rock with when he's the juvenile detention warden or whatever. I've seen that one.
Francisco's favorite football movie is The Blind Side.
I've seen The Blind Side.
Fucking trash movie. How does Sandra Bullock even win an Oscar?
Well, it depends on which Longest Yard.
Both are equally fun.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Both are equally good. Whereas, I know what Francisco's favorite football movie is. It's Draft Day, starring Kevin Costner. You're a bum, Francisco. You're a bum.
I've seen that one where Robert De Niro is a crazy Giants fan. I've seen that one.
Any given. Oh, you're talking about Robert De Niro. I'm sorry. I was looking at Any Given Sunday.
Was it with Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro, and he's like an
Oh yeah, I know.
Giants fan, or whatever.
That was a baseball.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's just so many Leatherheads. No, that's not my cup of tea. The Game Plan is what you're. There's also the Game Plan where I guess The Rock. That you probably 42? Like that because you have low bow. 42. All right, baseball movies. Hold on. Well, you got baseball movies. Got basketball movies because you mentioned Coach Carter.
I saw that one with which one's the Rebound with Martin Lawrence. I've seen that.
Have you seen Semi Pro? Because I think that's funny. Have you seen Hoosiers? He got game.
Blades of Glory. I've seen that. I've seen
Ray Allen.
Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell. I've seen that.
Not as great with Kicking and Screaming. Love and Basketball, phenomenal movie. Just saying right now.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
White Men Can't Jump.
I've seen that too.
That's more about the system, if anything. Pure basketball. You Francisco probably likes Uncle Drew. Boxing movies. It's Rocky. It's Ali. We can just get those out there.
Creed. Seen Creed. Right, yeah.
I have not seen Creed actually.
Oh, okay.
It was a law school movie, and because it was a law school movie, it means it's just when I'm on my deathbed at like 60, coming into it.
Trying to think of a college football question. Oh, okay.
Well, this is more about. Wait, have you seen Slam Dunk Ernest? Because if we're bringing it in all in here, Matthew, what do you think is the greatest sport movie of all time?
There we go.
That's not a very fair question.
Well, this is sometimes life's not fair.
So okay, I can give you some candidates. How's that sound? Because
I'll take candidates.
I have equally strong feelings towards both, towards all. Is that acceptable?
That's acceptable. Yes.
Okay. So in terms of kind of like a nostalgia, childhood, I gotta go with The Sandlot. Like it's hard to argue against that. And then I think in terms a close second for that nostalgia would be The Mighty Ducks. In terms of kind of a more kind of heart wrenching, like really tugs at your heartstrings kind of movie, I'm gonna go with Remember the Titans. It's just that movie still gives me chills in some of those scenes. I think it's a great one. Here's one that I haven't seen anybody bring up, and it's kind of opposite end of the spectrum in the films we've been talking about, but $1 Million Baby was incredible. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that movie.
The Tearjerker? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Clint Eastwood film. It is just so well done, and it's so incredible. I enjoyed a lot of kind of boxing movies. I did boxing when I was younger, so it kind of was like fun to watch some of those. But that was such a good movie. It was so well done. And then even Southpaw, in terms of that kind of like thriller aspect of it and drama aspect, that was another really good movie. But those aren't in the categories. By the way, I kind of went off on a separate tangent there. But in terms of the two movies that just, when you asked me that question, the first two movies that came to mind for me personally were Remember the Titans and Sandlot.
I will say that boxing movies tend to have a lot of good options aside from Rocky and Ali. I like The Fighter. That's a very good movie. David O. Russell directing that. I think that's very compelling. Those Mickey Ward, Toragati matches were just good. That was the proposal for the sequel. You didn't see it? So they had proposed. It's very good. So that was the proposal for the sequel, to do that trilogy. But then the first one was just Mickey's like rise into the beginning. Very good character. Christian Bale won an Oscar on it, but I was really upset they can't go with the Mickey Ward or Toragati sequel that they had talked about. But you had Rocky, you had Ali, and there was like one other boxing movie, Cinderella Man. But I think that's more of a period piece as opposed to a pure boxing movie.
I've seen Cinderella Man.
Yeah, it's good. It's a tearjerker. You know what else is a tearjerker? The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke. If you guys ever want to bow into the
Oh, Charles, are you
world
gonna
of
watch
sports
Heels?
entertainment? Maybe, possibly. I'm a wrestling fan, Matthew, so that's where it kind of comes into it.
I wrestled in high school. So
Oh, I'm talking about costume wrestling. Professional sports entertainment wrestling like WWE.
oh, okay. So not real wrestling.
It's scripted. You know, let's, you know, you're a fun thing, but don't ruin my story. No. But not real wrestling. The only it'd be interesting going from there. I put in wrestling movies, but I was going boxing movies. So you're like a man of all cultures. If you did boxing, you did wrestling, all that fun stuff. So you can give us some insight on those combat sports as well that we like. I feel like Undisputed, another prison movie.
Earlier, and I've got a busted shoulder, a busted knee, a lifetime worth of back pain and neck pain to show for it. I was, boxing, combat sports, really have to be, I wasn't very good at them. I had a stellar, like, my last few, like, actual seasons of, boxing and wrestling, I was okay. But, unless you really take someone special to go to that next level, that was clearly not me. But I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed the training. I enjoyed, the feel of it, just everything down to the smell of the weight room, the smell of the mats, the competition, the sportsmanship. Combat sports it's got a real different culture from the rest of sports. You get really personal with your opponents on so many levels, and so it's hard to, unless you really have a deep-seated hate for somebody, it's really hard to walk away from a match hating your opponent.
Do you still follow it professionally as well? You're interested in what they're doing in the modern day stuff, or is this kind of more like a pastime thing for you at this point?
I'll follow boxing a lot. Boxing, I'm kind of disappointed in the direction it's taking. It's kind of, there's still some good boxers out there. Unfortunately, the thing about boxing is the less they talk, the better they are generally. The more they talk, they may have a bunch of good wins, but, it's just, looking at the Tyson here, the Fury, and, the guy he keeps...
Deontay Wilder.
There's so much talk between them, but you look at both these boxers, Fury's just kind of a bully in the ring, and you look at Wilder, he's kind of he's what we would call a one-hit wonder. He can knock people out. He's got lots of power, but he's got no form. He's got nothing on that. These aren't the days of where you had fighters combining technique, defense, offense, all these things. You just kind of have. Look at Wilder's fights. He's barely got his hands up. He walks in, kind of swings his long-ass arms, hoping to land a hit. And he just happens to be someone with a lot of power behind those punches. So, he's able to, knock a lot of people out. Whereas you got Tyson's kind of that bully bulldog, kind of just bulldozes you. So, of course, when the two meet, it just kind of looks sloppy if you look at the fight. Can I beat any of them? No, they beat the absolute living daylights out of me. I'm sure, I'm not saying I'm better than them, but I'm just kind of talking about with the kind of evolution of boxing and where it's going. We're not seeing now. If I had to pick a boxer right now in that heavyweight division, that's like, I think, really kind of a good reminiscent. You see the reminiscent of boxing of old. It'd probably be Anthony Joshua. The guy is
without the Andy Ruiz knockout.
Really combination. Sorry.
What about do you think the Andy Ruiz knockout though took out that credibility? Because I follow boxing as well. I'm with you on a lot of stuff that you said. I think the problem with the heavyweight division is that it's a three-way dance because you have the contractual obligations of Deontay and Tyson, but then everybody really wants to see Tyson and Joshua, and then do we care now after he gets Papa Ruiz, even though he won it back? But you continue. I'm commenting on some of the things that go from there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with that. And, like I said, Tyson's fun to watch. Wilder, he's fun to watch, Wilder clearly is fighting for something. You can see it in his, the way he talks, his motivations. I get that. But, there's just like Canelo Alvarez. That is a technique fighter, and there's a reason he's so hard to beat. Is because of his technique. Ryan Garcia, he's another one. I'm telling you, he's a technique fighter. He's got the speed, he's got the smarts, he's got the defense. These guys, they're what boxing's about. But unfortunately, that type of boxer's fizzling out, in my opinion.
Well, guys, Matthew's got to run, but Matthew, this was a very wide-ranging interview, from college football to the inadequacy of Francisco's viewing habits to wrestling and boxing. So, you're a renaissance man when it comes to sports.
I appreciate that, but I don't think I'm very good at it.
I was entertained. So
we were all entertained. So we appreciate you coming on. We'll let you go, but thank you again for coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, and look forward to talking to you guys again sometime in the future.
You got it.
take care.
Charge on.
Charge on to the beat, my friend.
We'll see.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, good night.
Okay.
Side note, Raging Bull's the other boxing movie I was trying to reference, but my brain was going. Jake LaMotta's story.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun, Andrew. Yeah, that was really fun. Especially towards the end, man. That was some actual boxing talk on the show, everybody. Yeah, if Charles wants to get some boxing and need somebody to a soundboard, man, bring Matthew back on, Andrew. Charles wants to do some.
Yeah, I didn't realize that
like
he
when
knew.
We bring
about
Doug
boxing.
for some of that F1 stuff,
Yeah,
I like boxing. I used to also like the UFC fights, but they've changed so much, And if we only did a show during the Canelo Alvarez Triple G stuff, rigged. Coming into it, but I like combat sports. It's only natural that person could like professional wrestling and then have some attraction to boxing or MMA combating.
Okay, guys, I do want to get to this because these are the last two little segments that I'll be doing for the season. I just want to get them out of the way because there's something interesting about them. And back to Play, Remember, Forget. It was Glenn Davis, right? But not Glenn Big Baby Davis of former. Was it? Was with what? The Celtics, right?
He was with the Celtics and the Magic.
And the Magic. There we go. So it's Glenn Davis, but not Glenn Big Baby Davis. He was a baseball player, first baseman. He's from Florida, from Jacksonville, Florida. Played at the State College of Florida, Manatee, Sarasota. Also went to Georgia as well. Transferred over there. Was drafted in 1981, 5th overall pick. And played for the Houston Astros and the Baltimore Orioles. Played 1,015 games, 965 hits, 190 home runs, 259 average. He is currently the CEO of Cascade Group, making hotels in the South. This man's got money, all right? Did some stuff after his career, a lot of good stuff, right? He's a Columbus, Georgia city councilman. He also started a home for disadvantaged children. So he's got that going, all right? Some of his charity work there. And he also, towards the end of his playing career, he couldn't make it in Major League Baseball, went on over to Japan. And played for the Hanshin Tigers. So that's my uncultured swine, aside from me, not watching the Sandlot, guys. But uncultured swine. So the Hanshin Tigers, they play at the Nippon Professional Baseball League out in Japan. This is an old team, guys. It's an old team. They were started back in 1935. Played in the NPBL since its inception in 1950. They've only got... They are truly not great because they've only got one championship in the Japan series. That was back in 1985. But they've had their fair share of Major League Baseball players pop through their ranks. All right, we've got Ryan Vogelsong. All right,
That's callback.
yeah, we got Cecil Fielder. Okay, we've got what other names do we recognize here? Eddie Perez. Okay, so there's some guys there. Yeah, Glenn Davis himself as well. So that's the but they play out in the Hanshin Hoseian Stadium in Nishinomiya in Japan. That was opened back in 1924. That seats 80,000 people, guys. An 80,000 seat baseball stadium. It was built primarily for the high school baseball championships in Japan. If you guys don't know, high school baseball is basically like college football here. That's how crazy Japan goes over high school baseball championships. So those championship games, those tournament games are so important that if the Hanshin Tigers have a home game, they will move their home games in order to make room for the high school kids. That's how big it is. It was.
Jeez.
Yeah, the design of the stadium was influenced by the Polo Grounds, although it's not shaped like the Polo Grounds, but I guess the grandstand and some of the stuff is inspired by the Polo Grounds back in New York, by the New York Giants' home. It is also the host of the Koshien Bowl, which is Japan's college football national championship game. Yes, Andrew, there is college football played in Japan.
I knew that.
Oh, well, now you know again. Because I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently they have American-style football in Japan. And Babe Ruth also played an exhibition game there in 1934, and they've got like a big plaque memorial there to mark that occasion, by the way. I mean, Babe Ruth is so big in Japan, the United States contemplated like bringing him over to Japan to like try and end the war. That's how revered he was in Japan. So, so I had mentioned before that the Hanshin Tigers had only won one championship, and well, much like other teams that are ancient and haven't been that successful in a long time, something's got to be, something supernatural has to have happened, right, guys? Like the Cubs with the Billy Goat, the Red Sox with Babe Ruth. Well, the Hanshin Tigers have the curse of the Colonel. So in 1985, after they won, the fans were celebrating by having people who looked like some of their players, the Tigers players, jump into the Dotonobori Canal. And according to legend, because none of the fans resembled the American first baseman, Randy Bass, fans grabbed a life-size statue of the KFC Colonel Sanders and threw it into the river.
I feel like these are my people.
So Bass apparently had a beard that kind of resembled the Colonel. And, of course, he's not Japanese, so that's what they went with. And then the Tigers have been not really... I mean, they've had some okay seasons. They've made a couple more Japan Series finals, but they haven't won since. And they haven't had a pennant win. So people thought that Colonel Sanders had cursed the team. In 2003, they made it back to the Japan Series, and the KFC outlets in the nearby cities of Kobe and Osaka moved all of their Colonel Sanders statues inside of their stores until the series was over to protect them from Tigers fans. And, eventually, in 2009, they found the top half of the original Colonel Sanders statue that was thrown out there. Then they found the second half of it, and they put it back together. Okay, and he's still missing his left hand and his glasses, and the KFC that he originally used to be outside of has since closed down. And so they just basically moved the statue back to the KFC headquarters in Yokohama. The Japanese KFC have headquarters all the way over there. And, well, the You can still see, if you want to go see this statue, you can head on over to the KFC headquarters in Yokohama and look at it if you feel like it. They found his eyeballs too, so you can look into his eyes and kind of get freaked out. And the Tigers last made the Japan Series in 2014, but they lost to the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And yeah, so there you go. That's what I wanted you guys to know about, that there is a curse of Colonel Sanders out there.
Colonel Sanders curse. I thought that was just cursing your arteries.
Yeah, or the KFC double down.
Mm-hmm.
That so good. I only had it twice in my life because I'm really just trying to make it a favorite.
I only had it once, and I felt shame.
Yeah, it's when we come back to the show, we have to ask, what is the hardest meal that you ever have? Not constitutionally, but just like, it was good, but it was going to kill you.
I felt legitimate shame after eating the double down. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? It was at the KFC that was across from FIU. That's where I had it.
Yep, that was my first time when I brought it back to campus for lunch. It was yeah, I'm not getting those years back that I lost when I took a couple bites of that son of a bitch.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we head on? We're at the 2-hour mark now.
I actually, unfortunately, need to leave. I don't know.
Bye-bye.
Charles, how long is the cage going to be, do you think?
Probably 15. I got to do my predictions because I got 2 pay-per-views in this weekend. Spoiler alert, it's going to be good.
I won't be able to stay that long, so I'll probably head out now, gentlemen, but I will catch you all later. We'll have to talk again, the three of us, before the next season, because it's going to be a nice long break for us.
Mm-hmm. All right, Andrew. Well, yeah, we'll be taking a break. You take a break, gear up for next month, because there's going to be a ton of stuff for us to talk about then. All right.
We're coming back juiced, steroid out. We're hitting dingers.
Dingers, by the way. Enunciation, guys. Dingers. There we go. Okay.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Bye.
Later, buddy.
Well.
Are we in?
Yeah, well, with Andrew out, I guess we'll have to jump in to the cage.
Oh, as you know, welcome everybody, your weekly Trueplex, The Cage with Charles. Full disclaimer, wrestling is not fake, it is scripted, it is a stage fight, it is a song and dance ballet, despite what all the professional wrestlers who are retired tell me. Screw them. I do what I want, how I want, when I want. It's showtime, baby. It's about men and women chasing championships, beating the holy hell out of each other, establishing their legacies, building friendships, and it's also pay-per-view weekend. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. There's too much wrestling, Francisco. Too much wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, out there listening to my hyping. I can't take it. Now I'm getting a wrestling television show of heels on Stars, starring Stephen Amell, who was Oliver Queen, and Arrow, also Casey Jones in the Ninja Turtles movie that no one went to go see. And he's a big wrestling fan. I'm going to start with that because I was intrigued a little bit. I'm like, maybe this is my kind of, saint of worship, as the people in Brazil over go and say. I loved Glow. I only watched the first season of it. There's season 2 and 3, but now that I knew that was
canceled, man,
by Netflix, I have no intent to see it.
Canceled. That show was good.
Yeah, it combined 3 things really that I love:
the drama,
80s, wrestling, Allison Brie. It was a win-win-win for me. A trifecta, the holy, and Betty Gilpin too. I didn't know who she was until I saw her. So we're going to include her too. We're going to include every female cast character on. And there's been some pro wrestlers on it. Chavo Guerrero was
Mark Maron
teaching the stunts. Mark Maron was like my spirit animal in that show. Aside from hitting on his daughter, that was creepy at the end of the first season. They had John Morrison on there, who is on the WWE for Raw right now for Ms. Morrison. So we love him. He was there for a segment of it when he was training the girls. I liked Glow a lot, but sometimes what happens is you get caught up in life and you can't follow everything despite the fact that you want to. It just happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. It's okay. But now we got heels. going on Stars with, Mr. Beautiful Stephen Amell on top of probably a few other people. They have CM Punk, Phil Brooks, former wrestler who's probably debuting on Dynamite or Rampage this week. Probably Rampage because they're in Chicago. But there's so much wrestling. There's, the Bagel Bites commercial. Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. You got pizza anytime. That's really how it feels about wrestling. I got Raw on a Monday. I got NXT on a Tuesday. I got Wednesday Night Dynamite from AEW then. I got Friday Night SmackDown. Now I have Friday Night Rampage for AEW because they have their hour-long special. And that's where I'll start with because WWE is going to take a minute. Rampage had its world premiere in Pittsburgh on Friday. They had 3 matches set out. They had Christian Cage going against Kenny Omega for the Impact Heavyweight Championship. Not the AEW Championship, but the Impact Championship. They had Britt Baker going against Red Velvet, defending the AEW Women's Championship. And then they had another match, and I honestly forgot what the other one was because you could only expect me to track so long. But if I didn't remember it, it probably wasn't anything of grand importance. And what are they doing as the gotcha? So, backstory. What's AEW doing? They're not putting Kenny Omega and Hangman Page on All Out. They're going to save that for a later date. The rumor mill is that Hangman want to go be with his pregnant wife for a bit. Understandable. It's fine. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not controlling it. I like Adam Hangman Page. Congrats if that's the case of it with your wife. Just take a break. I don't know if you're interested. I don't know. I just don't know. But we gave Christian it. The story didn't make much sense except for him being the one contender. But then Kenny is the belt collector. He has all these titles. So they say on the premiere episode of Rampage, they were going to have him versus Kenny Omega, Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship. And lo and behold, what happens? Christian wins the title from Kenny Omega. Long story short.
Charles Stradamus.
Yeah, Charles Stradamus. Long story short. Chair brought in by the Young Bucks. Kenny went for the One-Wing Angel on Christian on that chair. Christian's able to go from there, hit the Unpretty or the kill switch, whatever you call it these days, on Kenny and pin him 1, 2, 3. This could have started the domino effect of the stories because the idea is let Kenny, who's the belt collector, who has to have his boys help him most every single match, have him lose like 2 of the titles that are not prestigious because he was the Impact and TNA champion because Impact has shared title. He was the AAA Mega champion, which AAA is the promotion down in Mexico, and he was the AEW championship. So you have him lose the titles because over the weekend it was him on Rampage, and then he was going against Andrade El Idolo on Saturday at the Triple Mania for the AAA promotions. But so we had, look at that beautiful homage to Harley Race. Look at that facial hair by Kenny. It's so creepy, and I love it. Christian wins. Makes no sense to me because what have I been hating on Forbidden Door? I don't like outside promotion guys holding the main titles. Why? Because it makes the wrestlers in that promotion look what? Weak. And now you don't even have it, to put it on the sports world equivalent. It's the equivalent of trading for a guy just to be a bench warmer on any sport, and he just comes in and just destroys everybody.
Or it'd be like
outplays the guys that
it'd be
started.
like,
I'm trying to think of a modern day thing.
Or like let's say the Japan Series team coming in and beating the World Series champion. It's like, well, we thought they were better, you know?
Yeah, we can go with that comparison. I have like a more
I can't think of a better one
of someone losing their position battle. I know what it is. It's essentially, it's basically
it's
Ryan
Steve from
Fitzpatrick
Minecraft beating everybody in Smash.
No, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick being traded over from out of nowhere and just taking the top position out of your team.
Tua.
There you go. There you go. We found it. Someone's better than your own guy that you drafted into it. Yes, they did sign for Fitzpatrick. That's right. You know what? I'll use it on the Tennessee Titans. You have this first-round pick in Marcus Mariota, and you trade for a 7th round for Ryan Tannehill. And Ryan Tannehill outperforms him completely. Not even your own guy. There, we brought it together with my own team. How nice. But not so. Kenny wins it, and then Kenny loses finally, but it's not even to an Impact guy. It's to Christian, who used to be at Impact. He has storied history at Impact. He's the Impact Now champion, but it's still not an Impact guy. Why does this seem okay for Impact to be like, yeah, sure, whatever? Because my only thought process is it's got to be confirmed to either be Moose or Morrissey who's going to take that belt. Because What is Christian? Christian is a face. Christian has it. Moose, who's kind of a tweener, but more heel than face, couldn't beat Kenny last time. So maybe he'll be the guy who takes the belt off of Christian. Okay, it might have been just better for Moose's credibility just to beat Kenny instead of Christian, but whatever. Fine, you do it. I don't like it. But the other problem was it was a sleight of hand because now this all but confirms that Kenny's not going to lose to Christian at AEW's All Out pay-per-view September 5th. Right? It has to be. Because that's just a slap in the face. We crap on WWE for having the same matches over and over and over again. Imagine how you're feeling where you have this match that happened on free TV and now you're going to have it again on the pay-per-view. And certain styles of wrestling, there's a predictability in the moveset, but what more of a story can be told between Christian and Kenny that's different that's already there? You're still going to have the shanty kind of interference, and then this time it's going to be Kenny winning. I don't know. I don't like it. Other news, though. Speaking of Kenny Omega, he defended against Andrade Idolo at the AAA pay-per-view, Triple Mania. We don't talk about the AAA promotion that much, but there's some familiar callbacks in Rey Fenix, Bento Zero Miedo, all the stuff. Andrade Idolo is on there now. Andrade Idolo used to be Andrade Cien Almas from WWE, engaged to Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is whom? Daughter of Nature Boy Ric Flair. What happened to Ric Flair last week or 2 weeks ago? He was released from his contract. He was there with Andrade. Why is it my Spanish is just better when I speak wrestling than in every life? Can you explain it to me? I'm like rolling R's. I'm selling at eloquent. It's beautiful. Oh, that's Diana Peraza. She won the Reina de Reina championship, so she's an Impact wrestler who has now the women's championship from AAA. But anyway, Ric Flair goes over there. He's by Andrade's side. And then Rick got in the ring, man. He started doing some knife edge chops, what he's famous for, on Kenny Omega. It was a very interesting thing. I believe I sent you guys the link to it on the video. Good for Rick. Good for making me laugh. I was thoroughly amused by it, so to speak. But Andrade didn't win. So what's the whole purpose of Christian winning that title if Andrade can't get that AAA title? So he's going to hold on. Kenny's going to hold on to that belt until when? And it is rumored from the dirt sheets. And when I say dirt sheets, it means from the people in the wrestling business who, are just saying XYZ certain things, and you never get any confirmation that comes out of it. And it's really just speculation. Really, it's just basically like, politics and sports. Everybody thinks they know everything, but they have no inside sources. Look at that. Sorry, Dave Meltzer. It's true. Sorry, Brian Alvarez. I like Brian. Brian's okay. So what was the purpose of that? And they're saying that AEW had requested AAA not to have Kenny drop the title yet. But I don't know what it all means because the AAA title is hardly defended in AEW. It's hardly defended on Dynamite. I think it's only been defended twice. Once against Rey Fenix, I believe, and then once against Laredo Kid, making me really work into my brain for the 2 years that they've been around. And it came to meh kind of matches, in my opinion. I think Kenny only meshes well with certain people. Every wrestler meshes well with certain people. Not everybody could be him versus Okada. But whatever. I mean, we'll see what happens. AEW All Out, September 5th. We will be off for vacation or for our season finale for a while, off season. You already know some of the matches that are going on there. As I commented on it, it will be Kenny and Christian. I don't know all the other matches going on. I'm thinking Britt Baker versus, what's her name? Of course, Thunder Rosa. I don't know what they're doing with the tag titles for the Young Bucks. Maybe they'll have them go against Lucha Bros. We know we're going to have Pac v Neville. That should be good. I'm going to be about that. But they both kind of need the one. That's the hard part. Miro, been excellent as a redeemer. Miro, follow us on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. To be Miro, follow him on Twitter. Get to know what big badasses look like because that's him. New Japan. Man, I'm glad I could not have kept my promise to join the show because I got to give my shout outs to everybody before we get to the SummerSlam predictions. New Japan. Resurgence happened. Dave Finlay versus Jay White. Never Openweight Championship. Jay White won. Biggest thing to take from New Japan is two things. One, guess who's back? Back again. Will Ospreay. He was the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He was the first one to win that big old ugly belt off of Kota Ibushi when Kota was given that title. He's back. He says he's clear to wrestle. I doubt it because he's not competing in the G1 Climax tournament, which is what? That big old, think of the Cell games or think of the World Martial Arts stuff from DBZ where everybody go against each other. We can't say, maybe we can say it's like the Dark Tournament for Yu Yu Hakusho. That's right. We're going callbacks here, baby. Callbacks. But he's back saying he never lost the title. He doesn't understand the hypocrisy in New Japan, how John Moxley can not defend that title for years overseas when he was overseas, or for not years, for like 9 months overseas because of the Rona. So why should he have that vacated title? I think it will lead to him and Shingo Takagi having a unification title or dispute who is the true champion, or he just wins it back. We'll see. That's interesting. As you see in the background, the Good Brothers against Gorillas of Destiny. They're all part of the Bullet Club. Bullet Club was originally founded with Carl Anderson, Finn Balor, and Tamatanga Tango Lao are part of the Gorillas of Destiny, the GODs. I love that nickname, by the way. You know me, I'm a sucker for like mottos, stable names, and stuff like that. Gorillas of Destiny is just so awesome. They're a multi-time IWGP Tag Team Champions. With their whole beef, what's going on, why Jay White's feuding with them over an Impact. It's the idea that the Good Brothers are just kind of sellouts. They left the WWE. They're doing this. How dare you call yourself elites? This is basically the Civil War that they needed. This is the reason why the Forbidden Door was probably opened. To be honest with you, I think that could be super interesting just because of the story of what they're going to tell. The question is, where are they going to do it on? New Japan, Impact, AEW? That's the problem. And that's also the positivity of everything being so cross-branded. Other thing to consider, what happened at New Japan Resurgence. Poor Lance Archer. This big old man, the murder hawk that is Lance Archer, who I think has been putting up some great work the last couple of years, defended the IWGP US Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Japanese John Cena of talent and glamour of professional wrestling over there overseas. Archer just won the title from Moxley in a Texas death match. And then Tanahashi, his whole thing was like, I want to be the first quintuplet champion because he's had all the other titles come into it. He's the multi-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion and Continental Champion. He won the Never Openweight title before he lost it to Jay White, and now he challenged for that title. I think he was a tag champion too. That's where the quintuplet comes in. If not, he's a quartet champion, Grand Slam, whatever you guys call it is. And then he beats Lance Archer. So now he's the IWGP US champion. Should be interesting to note he's the first Japanese wrestler to hold that title. Originally, it was, I believe, Kenny Omega who got it, and then came Jay White who beat him, and I think Cody Rhodes got it, and then we had Juice Robinson, John Moxley, Lance Archer. The title's only still its infancy, but they need to push it. Probably be their third brand title because what they do, Francisco, they merge the Intercontinental Championship with the Heavyweight Championship. That's where we have the World Heavyweight Championship. That's New Japan. That's what's going on there. Ring of Honor, we won't talk about. Impact, you're gonna have Christian Cage defend against Brian Myers, formerly known as Kurt Hawkins, in the first match there. Bleh. Moose doing Moose things. Okay, whatever. Let's get into SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver. It is a stacked weekend of wrestling, man. Holy crap. Saturday and Sunday. And I'm on like the whole keep dry until you're 32 thing. So there will be no alcohol festivities going on for the pay-per-views. And you know I like to kick back and enjoy. SummerSlam's in Vegas. It's going Saturday. NXT TakeOver 36 is going Sunday. Man, there's a lot going on this. So we'll go with TakeOver first because I think that's going to be the one that I can kind of get to the point on. Going to
so
NXT
you're
TakeOver.
basically that Homer Simpson meme right there.
I am the Homer Simpson meme. And it just really is everything there. And this is the problem. Like, this is why I can't evolve as a human being, spiritually, mentally. The only thing I can evolve is physically, because when you just see big, sweaty men with abs all the time, you have this condition in you to go see big, sweaty men with abs. Do you not? And become that and work out. But then you eat the kernel. And unlike, what happened in your story prior, we don't disrespect the Colonel here. Yeah. But this is the card for NXT TakeOver, and we'll do quick stories and what I think will be highlight matches. Walter versus Ilya Dragunov, United Kingdom Championship for NXT, because it was NXT UK. I expect Dragunov to win that one because it's a second matchup. Walter's got to drop the title. I don't think he's going to come to US, but you got to do something in order to change it. Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe, we know we got to chug for this. I've been following the story for a little bit. And even though Vince has ruined Karrion Kross a little bit because of his internal politics with Triple H and blaming Triple H for a lot of the stuff that's going on because they lost the Wednesday Night Wars, this should still be good. Joe's going to win that. Kross is going on Raw. He's already been on Raw already, having a couple matches. He's just going to dominate. Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai. This is Dakota Kai's swan song. She will lose to Raquel Gonzalez. They were former best friends, teammates. Dakota betrayed her. It's a very simple storyline that's always effective. I think they put on a good match. It may give Raquel her best defense since because it's only been her and Ember. I think that had a match that was there. LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. Please stop it. I'm done with this match. It's for the $1 Million Championship. It's not even a real title. I'm done with the storyline. I'm okay with Cameron Grimes becoming the Hillbilly Millionaire. I love it. The $1 Million Hillbilly is what I call him. But the minute we brought in Teddy DiBiase, I was kind of done, to be honest with you. They've had good matches, but this is the third time they're going for it, and I think we could avoid it. And then the main event, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, the storyline we've been following since when? Valentine's Day, when they had St. Valentine's Day takeover going on, where Adam Cole betrayed Finn Balor, and then eventually betrayed Kyle on the same time. They split the series. The first match was unsanctioned. Kyle won. Second match was a standard wrestling match at the Bash, which Adam won. And now we have a 2 out of 3 falls. Could we have done better with the stipulations? Obviously. Is H playing it safe with his products? Yes. Is this Adam Cole swan song because he's going on the main roster? Obviously, because the rumor mill is he went and met with Vince McMahon personally. And if you meet Vinnie Mac, you're probably going on the main roster. Best of luck, Cole. I really hope you do not become a future 24/7 champion, but hopefully you are in a main event scene, not on the main event show that you see on Hulu, where no one sees you. That consists of dark matches. It's going to be 2 out of 3 falls, which means it's going to go to a third fall, obviously. First match, standard wrestling match. Why? I guess it kind of makes sense that Kyle chose it because he lost to Cole in the standard match. So maybe he wants to do that again for his pride. Second match, street fight, which makes sense because Cole lost the unsanctioned match. You see what they're doing there? And then third match, steel cage. I don't get the steel cage component. This is really where I don't understand it. Because steel cage is going to be brutal, but a street fight's kind of brutal. So what are we going to do to differentiate it? I think all of this could have been avoided if we just did what, Francisco? Last man standing or Iron Man match. Whatever works for you. Let us see. But I am not in charge, even though I want to be. That's NXT TakeOver. I will watch it. I might not watch it immediately on Sunday. That's a lot of wrestling, man. We're talking about 8 hours accumulating. I might separate up because next week the show's going off for a while. Charles is going to take some PTO, man. Birthday treat resort, going from there. So maybe I will postpone it. I cannot see spoilers. Maybe I'll go from there. Not SummerSlam though. We're watching SummerSlam for obvious reasons. But NXT, I can live a little bit. SummerSlam card. How hyped is Charles for this, Francisco?
Very.
I have like a minor chub right now just thinking about the 2 matches that I'm ready for. What do I think are the 2? Go ahead, let's do this kind of match. I'm ready. Obviously, Roman Reigns and John Cena. I'm surprised my friends still acknowledge me as their friend, because I haven't been too strong to you and Andrew with regards of how often I'm sending you guys stuff about Roman and John. I can't turn away from it. I love this whole interpersonal rivalry that's going on that they have. I love the fact that, Roman's bringing up the whole Nikki Bella situation where John Cena was actually, engaged to her for some time. They had a WrestleMania match. And I love how Cena just burned him. He insulted him saying those 2 big bars of teeth that you have because of Roman's dental procedures, and then saying that you almost ruined Seth Rollins, and then you made Dean Ambrose leave the company. Who's Dean Ambrose? Jon Moxley over at AEW. It cuts so deep because wrestling is what, Francisco? A soap opera. And boy,
damn it, they took my jobs. They took
we're getting an All My Children out of this. We're getting a General
South Park
Hospital.
episode taught me a lot.
Exactly. That was your education into it. It is a connection to the feel. What is this really about? It's about, is he going to break Flair's record? You saw that. Him telling Roman that you are going to be nothing. Your legacy is going to be a trivia question of who broke Ric Flair's record, or who did John Cena beat to break Ric Flair's record as Roman Reigns. I was like, oh, it's so good. So good. I love it. It's just so good. I'm ready for that match. And the other match that's really showing up. The other thing I've been bothering you guys for SummerSlam preparations, Edge and Seth Rollins. Ooh, a little bit of the same, right? Master Manipulator, the Architect, the Radar Superstar. Seth Rollins, as the Drip King, needs free chiropractic sessions for carrying the year of the pandemic. His feud with Kevin Owens was good, in my opinion. His feud with Rey Mysterio, he put Rey and Dominic Mysterio to be more than boring, even though the matches were in between and him trying to gouge everybody's eyes out in between. But he put up a show a year ago with Dominic at SummerSlam. He carried Dominic. He's had other stuff. He disappeared. He put over Cesaro on WrestleMania in a fantastic match that could have been longer. And then, Vince just ruined Cesaro's push. Don't get me started. I'm so upset, Francisco. I could cry about that. Side note, Shinsuke Nakamura is now Intercontinental Champion. That happened on SmackDown. No longer be Cesaro. I don't know what's going to happen. That just saddens me. But I think their match is going to be good. But let's list down the match card. Oh, but here's the problem. Because we live in a pandemic world, there might not be one of the other matches of the night. That might be a highlight happening. There is rumors that Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, the rematch from the WrestleMania that was a main event for part one, this is going to be their rematch coming into it for the SmackDown Women's Championship, is not going to possibly be on because due to unforeseen circumstances, which screams what to me? The Rona, right? That's all I think about every time. I don't even believe people are injured anymore. I just believe if people are held off from the match, then it's probably because of those precautionary procedures. But let's go through the list. Recommendations. We'll save the two ones I'm interested in to last. Nikki Ash, almost superhero. Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Raw's Women's Championship triple threat match. Who wins that? Nikki does. I think this is a match that kind of puts over solidify. Why does Vince want to have Nikki win? Merchandise, baby. Merchandise. It's not just 31-year-old men about to become 32 harboring onto the days when life was simple when they're 8 years old and enjoying wrestling and playing with their toys after school. There are current children out there. What do you want to do? You want to move the Nikki superhero action figure.
Yeah,
you want to move the Nikki almost superhero shirt.
I've seen the toy aisles. I've seen the WWE toys. They're there.
Yeah, look,
right?
I will die one day. Those kids are younger. They're still in it, man. You know, you want to get the little basham buddies. You want to get the title belts. It is a pure ploy, but hey, she's been losing the last couple of Raws.
Charles
She did
mustache
beat
tee.
Charlotte. Get a Charles mustache tee. My God, could you picture me as an action figure with the mustache? I would lose it. Charles with detachable mustache.
I swear,
and
if they have an action figure setting ever, I will try and make one.
It's done. It'll be beautiful.
I'm gonna look at that over the break. Maybe there is.
I would be so happy. It'd be great. I predict Nikki wins. WWE Championship, Bobby Lashley, Goldberg. Put it as the first match of the night. The crowd still loves Goldberg. They still get hot, and I will get hot just seeing that beautiful chocolate Adonis that is Bobby Lashley killing Goldberg. It would be great. I will enjoy it because it's going to be Bobby and Brock. If this was Bobby and Brock, buddy, I would have to get screen cleaner right now because I've been pushing for Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, but Brock don't want to come back right now. That's fine. They gave us Goldberg for whatever reason. Fine. Let Bobby win. Do not have Goldberg go on. You know he's just there as a part-timer. I don't think he's going to be a part-time championship. It's not happening. Whatever, but that's what I would do coming into it. Usos versus the Mysterios, a continuation for the Money in Bank rematch, continuation for the titles. I think this is going to be utilized to kind of have Rey and Dominic Mysterio break up and then have Dominic turn heel. Fine. Usos win. We know what the story is going to because I have a bigger theory of what's going to happen, but we'll continue that when we return to the show. Sheamus versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest finally getting his reward, I would say, for working with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, though I did enjoy that match very much so, but I've also enjoyed Sheamus as champion. Two guys going to beat each other up. I love me some Damian Priest. Liked him in NXT. Liked him in Ring of Honor when he's Punishment Martinez. Just a great name for us, personally. And I like Sheamus. He's bringing on the second act coming into it. So who do I have a prediction of? This is where a lot of people say, hey, Damian Priest is going to win. I'm going, I don't think so. I think Sheamus wins it. And I think they continue that feud to the next pay-per-view. Because here's the thing. With so many matches going on, some matches have to be lost for time. And I don't think this is going to be a 15-minute spectacle. There are going to be some chicanery that happens, that they're going to have that rematch either on Raw or they're going to have that rematch at the next pay-per-view, which would be what? Extreme Rules. Perfect for a blood feud. Perfect if you want to build over star. Perfect for your guy who's trying to beat somebody and it keeps getting cheaped out because the champion is being a chicken shit. Yeah, I think sometimes forward thinking. You can't take each case match by match. You have to take it month by month. Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. I'm not even sick of Drew this time, man. I just wish they did a better story for Jinder and him because they used to be part of a stable. They're actually like best friends in real life. Jinder attended Drew's wedding. He was his best man, part of that whole groomsman kind of thing. But I think at the cost of having Jinder's guys, Sheer and Venki, or Veer and Shanky, lose to Drew all the time. I don't like making stables weak to make a guy look strong in that sense. Not about it. AJ Styles, almost the current Raw Tag Team Champions versus Randy Orton and Riddle. Love it. RK Bro is back. It's emotional. It's like the modern day team. Hell no. I don't know who's going to win. It's probably going to be RK Bro, but Vince could also break up RK Bro. And I'm okay with that too. That's going to help put Riddle over, but I'm going to enjoy it. Anytime Randy Orton and AJ Styles get in the ring, I'm about it. Anytime Riddle and AJ Styles get in the ring going against each other, I'm about it. Almost is the wild card because he's a big 7'4" man. His wrestling skills are limited, but he's playing his part right and he's growing. He's learning. Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. That's a bathroom break, kids. I'm telling you that right now. I don't like Alexa Bliss having the Fiend character now that Bray Wyatt's no longer there. The reason why you want to keep this momentum, though, you have Nikki, who's almost superhero, be the champion, retain her championship, have her go against Alexa Bliss. They used to be women's tag team champions together. There was best friends with storylines. It's classic wrestling 101. It's classic storytelling of good versus evil. This evil possessed Blondie versus this, superhero character want to be over here. Good versus evil coming into it. It raises Nikki almost superhero coming up because her initials are ASH, so I'm trying to be proper with it. You have Alexa Bliss turning the dark side people. Maybe she tries to taps into Nikki Cross's dark side because she used to be part of Insanity over in NXT. Brought up she was kind of a wild card, and have Nikki try to resist that change over to the dark side, defend her championship, make sure this evil possessed thing of Alexa Bliss or Lily doesn't win. Forward thinking, right? I'm actually about that storyline. It's different. It's kind of lame. It's kind of hokey, but that's what wrestling kind of is about, though, right? You took my jabs. So, but Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie, I'm not about that. And then prediction-wise, though, will be Alexa Bliss, obviously, coming to that. But then the two matches tonight, Seth Rollins and Edge. Seth Rollins wins, I think. Actually, no. I'm going to change. I'm going to say it's Edge because Edge has lost his last couple matches. He lost against Roman in a very good match. He lost in that triple threat match at the main event, which is great. His only other wins that you can recall have been him versus Randy Orton on that Raw. He wasn't a triple threat win against no. I think Dominic lost, so that doesn't count. But it was just the Royal Rumble and then Randy Orton's big feuds. I want to say Seth needs this, but I don't see Seth staying on. I see him getting put over to Raw because the draft is going to be coming up. I think him and Roman do tangle at Extreme Rules, but it's one of those things where it's like Edge could win, be protected, and get the next guy down the line. Edge versus AJ Styles is definitely my cup of tea. But that's the one I'm like flip-flopping on, to be honest with you. I don't know who I don't know if Seth needs to win it more, but I feel like Edge, because he's going to be a part-timer, but he's like not a part-timer like Goldberg who shows up like once a month. Edge will come in, be there for several weeks, maybe wrestle a little bit, but he wants to face the young guys too. This is why you have this match. This is why you had him versus Bryan and Roman at the same time, especially since they knew Daniel Bryan was going. He was going to leave. There was things that kind of came into it for it. And then the other thing I would say, I just got your message. And then I would say your main event coming into it, Roman John. Obviously, Roman wins. Obviously. But this is the big tease, Francisco. Because you always want them to remember the finish. That is the Vince McMahon logic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Big E Money in the Bank cash-in after Roman Reigns goes to holy hell, war and back with John Cena? Because it's not going to be an easy win. It's not going to be like Roman's reigning supreme after his match with Cesaro, and he's not even going to be halfway kind of beat up after he did with WrestleMania. Are you going to put Roman going against John Cena's whole legacy and give him this physical war, and he's looking destroyed, and are you going to have, hear me out, and this is why I'll leave you kids on too, are you going to have Big E go to try to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then have the Usos try to interfere, but who is Big E big with? The New Day. They're part of the same faction. Are you going to have the New Day stop the Usos from having the cash in happen and get the 1, 2, 3? Oh, because I know I was telling you, maybe you have Big E go and cash in on Bobby. The story is there. He killed Kofi, all that fun stuff. But have we gravitated to a better story? Because what happens is when the draft occurs, you can have New Day, which consists of Big E, Woods, and Kofi, versus Bloodlines, or Roman's Tribe, whatever you want to call it. I'll create a better name for it than Bloodlines. I like Bloodlines, but I can make something better. I know I can. Of Roman and the Usos to have a multi-feud match between now and November. And what's November? Survivor Series? When you're known for these elimination matches? Big E and Roman have met before in a Survivor Series when it was trios, when it was the Shield versus the New Day, and they decide who was the best of the best. How are you going to put Big E over? And then you could end their feud perfectly at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs in December. Big picture shit, buddy. It's good shit, as Vince McMahon says. I don't curse off on the show, but I'm quoting. But do you think we get a cash-in? I don't think so. But if we do it, we do it like that. And that's all I got for you this week on The Cage for our season finale.
Oh, we'll see what happens. And
if I'm right, like, you have to call
month.
me Charles Stradamus the entire time.
Oh, yeah, next month. Heck, we could do like a mini episode in between, be like, just like Charles, just be like, I'm right, everybody. I know everything about wrestling.
Because I've been hitting it. And also, you know what makes today even better? Even better as I'm thinking about the sweet Big E cash-in on Roman Reigns with the New Day stopping the Usos from doing it. The Yanks won both games.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're in the wild card.
Yep. You guys have tied Boston for that. Was it the wild card spot right there?
We technically have number 2.
Yep. So there you go. There's that. Let's see. So we're at the end of the show, but there's some things I want to mention. First off, I think a pitcher for the Oakland A's just got hit by a baseball. That's really scary looking. So hopefully he's all right there. So there's that. I wanted to just a little talk. I mean, baseball talking towards the end because kind of got off on the whole I didn't watch the Sandlot thing. I know. Tankathon. I wanted to mention this. Oh man, we missed. There's a lot of stuff we missed. NHL. They got ads on the uniforms now. I don't mind. Now that the NBA has done their thing, it's like okay, fine. And the Panthers need as much money as they can get. Yeah, Panthers need as much money as they can get. Please. So much money as they can get. So there's that. Trevor Bauer stuff. That we don't have time.
It feels like it keeps getting delayed for me to actually.
Exactly.
A professional atmosphere. It's so weird because they just did day 2 of cross examination.
Yeah.
And maybe it's for the best. Maybe I can't give it from being both a petitioner's attorney and a response attorney because I've been both. Hell, I was that the other week. But it's interesting stuff to say the least. And some people are like, are these things meant to kind of go and get delayed for my evidentiary hearings? Usually we just special set. We know it's gonna be more for an hour, but to do a whole day's worth, so it's got to be intricate. And keeping in mind what people need to remember, at least in the state of Florida, I can't comment on where he's being alleged fully, but these are civil restraining orders.
Right.
They don't have criminal penalties,
Yeah.
so there's a violation there's a lower burden of proof, and sometimes, though, if the judge does find in a civil matter you'd be liable, then the idea is, yeah, you did it. Even though we have a very historic case of a certain football player who was tried for murder, O.J. Simpson, and wasn't found guilty, beyond reasonable doubt, but in a civil matter was found liable for the deaths of his wife.
Yeah.
So it's weird sometimes with the justice system because with them, it doesn't hold to the criminal penalty, and I want to see the result is because maybe we can actually go legal on it. But what should the MLB impose as a lifetime ban if someone obtains a civil restraining order for those kind of allegations? Because it's not just battery, but it's sexual battery. If it went to a criminal matter, but injunctions are different. They're different, man. You have to be found. And I'm just going from Florida, not that law, but with something as heinous to be found, you're not convicted. You're just findings, I guess. But to be found in that civil matter, does that impose a lifetime ban? And that's very interesting. I think it's egregious that the MLB's policy is so deficient to which this man is still making millions of dollars if he's having an extended leave. Because I think what happens is them keeping the extensions, they'll just make a determination to ban it for the end of the season or delay for the end of the season. They were taking everybody along for every couple of weeks. It was because MLB didn't want to make the hard decision to kind of say, hey, we hold to a standard. Or even the Dodgers. Well, I think what happens is they did the administrative leave at the end of the year of the season, then the Dodgers can probably get out of that loophole. So they're probably the union's probably at play. I'm just speculating on some stuff, but I think that's more telling about the MLB how they understand. They have lawyers. Come on now, they can't say, oh, do we think this is going to be resolved by the second continuance that we had, or continuing of his administrative leave? They should have known the first time they pushed and continued his administrative leave that this was not going to be resolved soon, and you might get a resolution in the next couple of weeks. But what are you going to do with it? Because I'll leave it on this note. Sometimes a restraining order at the end of the day is just a no contact order, right? And those images are not in public coming into it. It's not an Aaron Hernandez situation. And I'm not saying that as an opinion. I'm saying that is an administrative. First, I think what Trevor Bauer did is not right whatsoever. But it's just very interesting of how you take a civil suit matter, how you should impose that into MLB, because we can all say out of all the sports, MLB is the one that has the most archaic impositions of domestic violence. You're going to put a 50-game ban on a 162-game season. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just took a small vacation. That's more than
it's
anything.
just almost a third of the season.
Yeah.
That's it. Whereas in the NFL, at least inconsistent policy as they are, but at least to say 8 games is half the season.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm very intrigued on that they do there. So that's my Trevor Bauer comment, because I've been holding back on that stuff for a month because that's my bread and butter.
Yeah, but nothing has gone down substantially. Well, maybe by the time we come back, there'll be more to actually substantially talk about it. But just wanted to mention that, and then final. We'll see what happens with regards to playoff stuff. So Rays are spanking the Orioles. I mean, basically, American League East goes to whoever beats the Orioles the most.
It's an easy win, except for us. I don't get it. I can't explain this.
I don't know what you guys are doing, but the Orioles. I mean, there's always. I mean, it always seems like one of the last place teams gets the number of one of those top teams that are contending. It just seems to be a weird rule for some reason. So Rays on top of the AL East. White Sox, they're probably going to win the division. Houston fighting the A's. A's have the top wildcard spot right now. The Yanks now in that second spot. Boston is technically tied with them, but I think the Yanks have a tiebreaker or whatever you want to call it over them.
Listen, second according to ESPN, we beat good teams.
Mm-hmm.
This feels so good.
Indeed.
I mean, we're gonna lose tomorrow, obviously, when we play them. I've jinxed it.
So Blue Jays not far behind either, and neither the Seattle Mariners are still hanging around. So it's a lot of teams.
It feels like last gasp for them, though.
Yeah, they've been kind of middling as well. The Blue Jays, we'll see if this is really their time or not. It might be a year earlier than what they're supposed to, but if not, then it's like, okay, next year will probably be the year for them. NL East, God, the Braves are in first place and they are doing really well right now. And,
Here I was commenting Joe Girardi. I called him a competent manager, and now you fell out that. Come on, Joe.
Yeah, Phillies. Their Phillies are they kind of been. They have the easiest strength of schedule, so they're not far behind, but they're gonna have to pick it up if they're gonna take this division. The Mets have fallen apart, and that's funny. So that's that's just funny. It just is. They're terrible. Maybe they'll get Tim Tebow back. Maybe they'll bring him in and see what stuff happens there. Brewers are gonna take their division. That's a no-brainer.
I can't name anybody on that team besides Yelich, and I literally looked at the depth chart today. I was like, what is this?
The San Francisco Giants are somehow still winning their division. They are doing it. The Dodgers have the wildcard spot. The Padres too, but they got no hit by the worst team in baseball. So there's a thing. The Cincinnati Reds, they're finding a way. They're only 1.5 games back.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, man.
And not too far away, the St. Louis Cardinals. They're hot right now. They're only 4 games back. And the Phillies are still hanging around 4.5 games, if they don't win their division. So there you go. The Mets are just falling apart, and they're falling out of both of that and the wild card race. So there you go.
Can I just say, though, like, I was shitting on, I'm going to use a curse word, I'm sorry, for being like, I'm not big on San Diego. I think I said that in the beginning of the season. And now the chickens are coming home to roost a little bit because it's a bad free fall. And I understand what you're saying, Charles. It's only August. We're not even middle of August yet. Well, we are technically now. But sometimes in baseball, when a team gets hot, they get hot. And yes, the injuries are bad. But when you've gone so low of you're going to sign Jake Arrieta,
they moved Tatis to right field so he wouldn't get injured anymore.
It kind of tells you.
Getting a little that's a kind of a slight desperation. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't that great of a defensive shortstop anyways, but
probably not. And a lot of guys have arms. I mean, at the end of the day, what's the whole purpose with doing outfield? Knowing when to catch and knowing when to throw.
But shortstops, you need guys that can play the position at least competently, So I think they were like, just stick him in right field. We'll see what happens there. Then tank race. This is my favorite part right here. Marlins they're nowhere near the worst team in the league, so they're probably not going to be in this conversation. But the Baltimore Orioles are for sure. I mean, they have constructed a fantastic tank right now.
I hate their tank.
Only
why I hate their tank? Yeah, but no, I hate their tank. This is like, what are we doing? We need a vision, right? Because there's
no direction. They have no direction.
That's the problem. Like, this is the thing. Manny Machado? No, not Manny Machado. I'm like, okay, what are you going to replace Manny Machado with? I feel like this is press media. And they would go say, no Manny Machado. Okay, what are you doing besides no Manny Machado?
Yeah.
No Manny Machado. Okay, what do you have besides no Manny Machado? Chris Davis just retired. Okay, but we have Trey Mancini. Are you going to put anybody near Trey Mancini?
Yeah, what's happening? What are you guys doing? What are you guys going to be
at least
develop some pitching, get some hitters, have some
With
hope.
Arizona, they are actually the team that you kind of want to build like with a proper tank because like, oh, we have Paul Goldschmidt. Okay, we can't afford Paul
Oh
Goldschmidt. Go
no,
for
the
them.
Diamondbacks
Surround
are
them with some
tanking,
guys.
and this is a tank that, like, okay, they realize that they have to tank, and they're doing it.
Yeah,
While the Orioles are just, they've had no direction since, I guess, since their last playoff appearance is like 5 years ago now.
they're Detroit Lioning it
Yeah,
for
because
comparisons.
other
Cleveland Browns
teams,
try.
other teams like the Marlins have a direction. Like at the very least, I know they have a direction. They've got great pitching. That's it's just hitting. We just need to find hitters. That's it. And then the Tigers, they have a direction. Like that Tigers might actually be decent next year if they go the way that they're going. You know, there's some hope there, but the Orioles are just. I mean, they're gonna get destroyed in this division next year. Because the Blue Jays have rebuilt. They're gonna be. I mean, they're rebuilt. That's it. They've got a winning record right now. They are
They
rebuilt.
just play a very hard division.
Exactly, but it's not a division that they haven't won before. They can do it. The Red
Well,
Sox.
they have a benefit too, where they play everybody that's in the wild card
Yeah,
race, us and the Red Sox.
yeah. So there you go. Other tanking teams. So the Orioles tank is glorious. They've lost so much that they've tied the Diamondbacks in amount of wins right now. Like, which is I didn't think the Diamondbacks would be overtaken by Baltimore, but lo and behold, it's happened.
And then they get a no hitter, which makes me feel dirty.
Yeah. Oh, over the Padres, the Fraudres.
Padres.
The Chicago Cubs, they've built themselves like they'd have to do a lot to lose that much, but they have done a lot to lose that much because they had a 12-game losing streak. They just won today over the Reds. That hurts the Reds a bit, but
I feel like
the rebuilding is on in Chicago right now. It is fully on.
their tank is weird though. And I'm gonna tell you why their tank is weird. Because it's gonna tank rebuild for like a season, and then they're gonna try to bring in.
They're gonna try and pull up Boston Red Sox right now.
Yes,
Even though the
they're
Red
gonna do like
Sox are,
above average players on above average contracts and construct a team.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, "Oh, they're selling the farm." I'm like, "But are they though? They don't want to be tied up with Anthony Rizzo for another 5 years." I do. I'm just saying that right now, Brian Cashman. Mr. Tree Trunks needs to be here, even though he's going to be on the bench a bit with the Rona. They didn't want to pay Bryant, understandably so. They didn't want to go Kyle Schwarber. Okay, that's fine. Schwarber wasn't doing anything for you the last 2 years. He's only getting hot now. But they'll be okay. You're right when they're saying they're doing the Boston Red Sox. Baseball is weird.
Yeah, they got the money to do it. That's the long and short of it. They've got the money to not suck for that long. So, and yeah, those are the tank races. Any last things before we go? I'm not doing any of those other sauces. I can roll those over. It doesn't really
Udonis
matter.
Haslam coming back in.
Yeah, UD's back. Sure. He's basically a practice squad guy. That's what he is.
We're really hoping no one hurts themselves.
Yeah. My real MVP was Tyler Gilbert for throwing that no-hitter. That was
Did you see his dad's reaction? Was that
yeah.
the most wholesome thing?
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about baseball, right? You just see that. Even he's on the worst team in the worst team in the league. First career start, not his major league debut, but his first career start. He was just a relief pitcher and then throws a no-hitter against a decent Padres team. So, good on him. And that's it. That's all I got. So, thanks everybody. Weird season that we've had, but we got through it. We're gonna take a break. We'll be going hard on because man, I'm excited. Got some Panthers. Panthers coming back. Joe Thornton's ring chasing in Florida. What is this? All right, hockey's gonna be coming back. We're gonna be in the thick of football, where we're gonna have freaking basketball soon enough coming back. All right, the Heat are gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. So I'm looking forward to it. So thanks everybody. I gotta edit this, and we'll see you guys in a month. Bye.
I will be remiss because Andrew wasn't here because there's a quote from The Sandlot. But I'm saying now, you not seeing The Sandlot, you're killing me, Smalls. Good night, everybody.